always looking out for everybody on the team and is a great leader. She's willing to set up her teammates for success and just puts herself in the position to help everybody out, and it's been really cool.
Emma is all in. She has been since the first day I met her freshman year.
My community is everything to me. So being able to kind of reach out and get back in these different areas and to people that have had such a big impact on me is just something that's rewarding in itself. I'm someone who have always prioritized my academics, and athletically, once I set those goals for myself, it became a big priority in my life. So be able to maintain what I want, have those goals set, makes it really easy to kind of focus on what's important. I've had so many people, not even just teammates, but throughout my club, throughout my high school experience, including my parents, that it's just everyone is pushing me to be as successful as I can be. And when I have so many people that are driving me and trying to keep me on track, that it just makes it easy to do it myself. And it makes it so much easier where you're not also trying to be successful for myself, but I'm trying to be successful for those people as well.
Congratulations, Emma.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have recognized scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Tar Heel Basement Systems. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at tarheelbasementsystems.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Cold front sweeping through, bringing us a small chance for showers and thunderstorms east of the Triangle, but still quite hot with a high of 95, feeling more like close to 100. 70 overnight tonight, and tomorrow will be mostly sunny and hot with a high of 96, again feeling like around 100 with the heat index.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones currently up 267 points at 39,417. Market update brought to you by Gregory Pool Equipment Company, hosting a hiring event at their Barlow Road location in Raleigh, July 13th from 9 to noon. Paid training and a generous benefit package. More information at gregorypool.com/careers.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Monday. I'm Tim Donnelly. Graham Hill producing the show. Dennis will be back later this week. And it is June 24th. Want to keep everybody updated on the calendar. Never going to guess what tomorrow's going to be. June 25th. That's how it works. But I bring that up for this reason. July's not that far away. I know everybody out there, you're thinking, of course, I know July's not that far away. I've to buy fireworks between now and then. I've got some things to do. Got to get the grill ready. But I think July is a big deadline for the Carolina Hurricanes. In Eric Tulsky's intro presser, the brand new GM, last week when he was introduced as the Carolina Hurricanes' permanent GM, he said he'd rather free agents not get to July to test the market. He'd rather have them signed up, locked into terms, signed, sealed, delivered by July. Now, he did also say that, some players just have to test the market, and he gets it, but you don't want your players to make it to July if you can avoid it. Well, guess what? July is sneaking up on us quickly. Right? It's right on our doorstep. And I know it feels like the Canes are going a million miles a minute, right? It feels like everything's set to fast, but you can't slow down for the next 6 days, 7 days. Rod Brindamore was on with Adam Gold earlier today, obviously the head coach of the Canes. He was asked, what have the past 3 weeks been like?
You know, we're in the process now of obviously trying to sign all our players, and so that's going on crazy. That's really what we've been focused on. And, you know, I'm helping in there where I can. And then obviously for us now, too, from a coaching standpoint, it's about getting ready for next year. So you're putting all your video together for training camp and just dialing all that in. And so that's kind of the routine.
Who are they talking about? Could it be the restricted free agents, Seth Jarvis, Martin Necas? Do you need to figure that out? Could it be the unrestricted free agents, Jake Gensel, Brady Shea, Brett Pesce, etc.? Whatever it is, whatever is their number one priority, have those pillars in place by July, and it makes your job so much easier. Right? There's a lesson in here somewhere, right? And it's a lesson you try to teach like young people. The amount of preparation you do. If you crush your preparation, the execution becomes the easy part. Right? If you work ahead, then you get to enjoy that work.
Proper preparation prevents poor execution. That's a motto that I try to live by.
It's the same thing, right? The more work you get done this week before July begins, or the work you've already gotten done, like the Jalen Chatfield deal, the more work you get done before July begins, the easier your July is. Right? Because going into July, you can start talking to free agents from other teams, right? The draft will be in the books. You look forward and think of all the contingency plans you need if you don't know what you're doing with your free agents, right? You need a plan for the free agents you can go after if you're spending $10 million a year on Jake Gensel. You need a plan for the free agents you can go after if you're not spending $10 million a year on Jake Gensel. Same thing with Brady Shea. Same thing with Brett Pesce. Do you need to keep cap room available for a long-term deal down the way for Martin Necas, or are you trading away Martin Necas? You need to have a plan for all of these scenarios, and it becomes that multiplier, right? You need a plan for if Jake Gensel returns and Brady Shea doesn't, but Brett Pesce does. You need a plan if Jake Gensel doesn't return, Brady Shea doesn't return, but Brett Pesce does. And it's like a math equation where the exponents get crazy real quick. I don't know if this is true, but I saw it online. Somebody said it on social media, so you know it's 100% true. Hopefully you sense the sarcasm. If there was any individual sport, like we'll just call it finding the fastest human sport, and every single human had to pair up one-on-one, and it was like a bracket, you would only need 32 rounds to go through everyone on the planet right now. You know, it's like, you know, the final round would be one-on-one. The next round would be the final four, then the Elite Eight, then the Sweet 16. You would only have to play 32 rounds to go through everybody. I'm just saying numbers are crazy. So if you have like 8 decisions to make, that's going to be a lot of contingency plans, a lot of A, B, and C, right? A lot of we need to know what to do here. Or you could solve some of those now. Get Seth Jarvis locked up to an 8-year deal by July, and now you don't have to have a million plans for if you do have Seth Jarvis on a long-term deal or if you don't, right? Get Martin Necas traded before July. Now you don't need, well, we need a plan if he signs an offer sheet where then we would sign him and we can't trade him. Well, we need a plan if we trade him later. Oh, we need a plan if we're just going to keep him and he accepts our deal. Oh, we need a plan. Just figure it out and eliminate all of those what ifs.
Don't be the Los Angeles Lakers. Don't find yourself in a scenario where you're banking on plan A to work out and then it doesn't, and now you're left with trying to find
saying JJ Redick is a not good option?
He's not a good option, but I mean, no, I didn't mean to say that. He's not a bad option.
Shots fired at JJ.
No, Duke fans are going to be coming for me now. He's not a bad option, just like signing Seth Jarvis to a short-term bridge deal is not a bad option, but you can avoid it if you really want to.
He's not going anywhere, but, I mean, maybe he signs an offer sheet. How crazy would that be? Aho signed an offer sheet, so it's not outside the realm of possibility. Then you have to match it. You don't get to dictate terms. If you know who you need to replace and you know who you don't need to replace, when July starts, your free agency period will be much easier. If you crush your preparation, your execution becomes easier. Rod Brindamore with Adam Gold earlier today on if he's optimistic about re-signing those big-name guys.
It's tough because I understand both sides of it, and the players. The other part that's tough is they all want to be here. There is a genuine thing. They'd love to stay. They love what we're doing. They love the area. But when there's, in their minds, and they have agents that don't care about any of what I just said.
Right.
And so they're sitting there telling them, whoa. Let's just wait and see because there's X team out there that's going to pay this, and the players have X amount of years to play, and so that's what makes it tough. So it's tough for me to sit there and go, hey, just sign with us, come on, and then knowing that they look at it a little differently too. So it's that's what's been going on. Am I optimistic? I can guarantee you that. Well, I am optimistic, but I don't think we're going to be able to have the same team. So that's for sure. That is no doubt about that.
I agree with them. There's no way they're going to have the same team. Can't afford it. But it's which are you bringing back? And by the way, I'm just going to say this also. If some of these contract negotiations, if all of these contract negotiations drag into free agency and drag into July, that's not to say it can't end up in a good situation for the Canes. It just adds degree of difficulty, right? It's more balls in the air that you're juggling that you have to find a way to keep in the air and secure. Part of the advantage of these guys being on your team, of them having the rights, is you get to work with them before everyone else in the league does in July. That doesn't mean you have to use that advantage. That doesn't mean you have to use that to your benefit. You can wait, or the players can make you wait. It's not to say everything's a complete catastrophe. I'm just saying it's easier. And if you're, an intelligent individual, you understand that the easiest path, probably a good choice to get where you want to go. Shortest line between 2 points, all that kind of stuff. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to have a good day today. When we come back, it's time for another question in our series of 99 questions about the college football season. One question every day leading up to opening kick. The next question coming up next.
Move your sports day forward.
We're not talking about a year here. We're talking about 10 days. This team is going to look different. You've heard the promos that we run for the show about how this team has played itself into more pay, how these players have played themselves into more pay, and what's fair and what's not. Just be prepared. The Eric Tulsky era is now upon us.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Did somebody say free diamond bracelet? That's right. Diamonds Direct is expanding upon their best offer yet. Make any purchase this month and receive a free diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. That's right. Any engagement ring, any diamond necklace, any timepiece. Purchase any item valued at $10,000 or more and receive a stunning diamond tennis bracelet at no extra cost. Every purchase of $10,000 or more qualifies. So hurry into Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet ends June 30th. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TURN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's the land of the free and the home of student drivers ready to back into your new fence at any given time. It's firing up a round of burgers and dogs on your rusty grill with a faulty gas line that engulfs your tool shed in flames. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Get ready for a night full of big fights and big action. It's UFC 303, and it can be even bigger. Jump in on all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. The light heavyweight title is on the line in the main event, but there are so many more amazing matchups happening in Vegas. Money lines, parlays, props, live bets, and so much more. The betting options feel endless on DraftKings. And speaking of amazing, if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TIMD. That's TIMD with no spaces for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Get that big fight feel only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at dkng.co/MMA. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. This is why you should not let people know when you're dealing with something. Just before the show, I told Graham that song you're hearing right now has been stuck in my head for like 4 days. Shabuzi, I believe, is the singer. It's been stuck in my head for like 4 days to the point where at first I liked the song.
Lord.
And now it's like, you know, not by anyone else's fault. It's just overplayed in my brain to the point where I'm like, really? So I let Graham in on that. And what does he do? The first commercial break we're coming out of, he fires it up.
Got to get it out of my system.
It's not going to get out of my system that way.
Well, now that's one less rejoin that I got to worry about or stress about when it comes to doing our show today.
I've been humming that song to myself for I don't even know how long. The Drive with Tim Donnelly. It's been 4 days. It's at least Friday. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's jump to our 99 questions about the college football season series. One question every show leading you right up to opening kick. We are significantly less than 99 days away now. We've been doing this for a while.
This past Saturday marks 9 Saturdays to go, ladies and gentlemen. We're in single digits.
Look at that. So we thought we'd ask this question. What's the toughest conference for this year? Which, first of all, you have to identify
who's left.
Who's in which conference? Yeah, which conference is left? Needless to say, the Pac-12 not making our list of top 4 here. But also, you have to understand, like, I'm going to cite the teams. I went to ESPN's Way Too Early Top 25. I'm going to cite the teams that are in the Way Too Early Top 25 by conference. Some of them are going to feel weird to say out loud.
All right.
Should we go top to bottom or bottom to top?
Let's go bottom to top.
All right. Big 12 is 4th. They have Utah coming in 9th, Kansas State 17th, Oklahoma State 19th, Arizona 20th, Kansas 22nd. That is fair for the Big 12. The Big 12 is a winner. They are in a pass-fail scenario right now. What I mean by that is they still exist and they were able to scoop up some teams from the Pac-12. So they're winning. Just by the nature of being on the list, they're winning. Now, they're in last out of the teams that were ranked. We're ranking the power conferences. They're in last out of the power conferences. But just the fact that the Big 12 is still breathing air is a win.
Despite Texas and Oklahoma leaving, but you got to remember they're bringing in Arizona, Arizona State, Utah. They pretty much opened the front door to the Pac-12 and welcomed them in with open arms. So you also get Deion Sanders and Colorado as much-needed attention to that conference.
Has a little bit of the shine of Deion worn off a little bit?
That's a very good question.
Obviously they're going to be wildly talented. Travis Hunter is a monster. Shedeur Sanders is going to be one of the more fascinating quarterback draft cases in the last however many years.
It feels like after College Game Day visited them last season, their stock started to go down dramatically.
Seems like more players are coming, former players that transferred out are coming out and saying not as good as it looked from the outside. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but it just seems like the sizzle is gone a little bit. Third conference, I'm putting the ACC. Florida State 11th, NC State 13th, Clemson 16th, Virginia Tech 21, Miami 24. I want to be clear. If I wanted to go blind homer, which sometimes I do for the ACC, but I like to say I put my biases on Front Street. I tell you when I'm going blind homer.
Right.
I'm not arguing for the ACC over the SEC and the Big Ten. I think I could. Because if you look at things like head-to-head records, if you look at a few other metrics, I think I could twist and I could, pretzel some logic and make it seem like the ACC deserves to be above. I'm not arguing that they are, though, because I look at the teams one for one. I don't think they have the top heavy hitters that the other teams do.
I hate to say this, it kind of feels like all eyes will be on the ACC just to see what Florida State and Clemson are doing on the legal side of things, like how they're going to try to have a good football season to give them some leverage to maybe potentially.
Well, I think especially with the expanded playoff coming up, I think there's going to be teams that have a chance to go on runs. There's going to be teams ranked in the top 10. I don't think they're as highly ranked now as they will be. I think the ACC is good. I just think it's ridiculous when people act like there's this Grand Canyon-sized gap.
Right.
I'm fine with you saying the ACC is third. Heck, I just said the ACC is third. What I don't get is when it's like the SEC, the Big Ten, then 50 feet of crap, then the ACC. That never makes sense to me, and I will argue against that without being a homer. Right? I will argue against that without feeling like I'm twisting any facts or logic. Florida State hasn't lost in over a year. That's pretty good. NC State has gotten way better than they were a season ago with the transfer portal. Virginia Tech returns, I believe, all 22 starters. That doesn't happen in power, especially with the transfer portal. That just doesn't happen. Clemson is Clemson. Miami is Miami. You know they're going to have a certain level of recruiting talent. It's can they put it together? But I'm looking at the ACC, and I'm saying, all right, fine, third.
And then there's always that kind of sneaks under the radar type team in the ACC, potentially a Louisville this
year.
There's
always a Louisville. There's always a
Virginia
Pitt.
Tech's back.
There's always a Wake. There's always a random team that plays above their level. You're exactly right. Second, Big Ten. Here's and then obviously that means SEC is number one. Not trying to break any news there. I think most people would have it in that ranking. I do think it's not as stable as it used to be. Some of the pillars are a little shaky. Some of the cornerstones are a little shaky. Alabama, Michigan, changing coaches. Right? USC being a team that counts towards the Big Ten top 25. Oregon being the fourth-ranked team on this particular list and being in the Big Ten, maybe that helps the Big Ten chase down some of the depth that the SEC has, right? Because for years and years, Ohio State and Michigan, you're usually going to be Ohio State and Michigan. But the argument for the SEC and sometimes even the ACC over the Big Ten, it was, all right, you have Ohio State and Michigan and nothing else. Wisconsin, great. They're going to win 9 games early, and then they're going to get pushed around by a team that can throw the ball. Great. Penn State is going to get everybody excited and then nothing. Meanwhile, the SEC had Georgia and Bama and usually an LSU or an Auburn or an Ole Miss or now a Texas A&M or a Texas or an Oklahoma. And so the Big Ten maybe a little bit deeper. The problem is the SEC also got deeper. Texas is third on this particular list. Oklahoma's 18th. So it's kind of an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, right? The SEC is getting stronger at the same rate the Big Ten is.
During the college football era, it feels like we've seen this year in and year out as far as it's usually the Big Ten and the SEC competing with each other as far as which team can get the more teams in the college football playoffs, along with the ACC, maybe a Big 12 team sneaking in there. But it feels like this season that's going to amplify a lot more with the additions that both conferences have made. You have a team like Oregon, Ohio State, and Michigan, as you just mentioned, in the Big Ten.
I mean, if you look at the top 4 on this list, it's Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, and Oregon. What, 2 years ago, last year, that would have been from 4 different conferences. Now they're all from 2 conferences. They've consolidated. So that's what the ACC is chasing, right? You're chasing 2 conferences that were probably a little bit better than you that have gotten better. Now you need to depend on SMU to pull something out of their hat, pull a rabbit out of a hat and become a much better program. You need Clemson to stay Clemson, Florida State to stay Florida State. You need NC State to level up. You need North Carolina to level up. You need Louisville to level up, right? It's no different than looking at a team. Right, because we talk about the Panthers offseason. We talk about the Canes offseason. We talk about all these offseasons. There's 2 ways for a team to get better. There's 2 ways for a conference to get better, right? One way for a team to get better is to get better players, draft better, free agents, trades, right? You bring better players onto your roster, your team will get better. The other way for a team to get better is the individual improvement of players already on your team, right? For a basketball player, it's like, oh, you used to not have a three-point shot. You come back after the offseason, you have a three-point shot. Your team got better. Same is true for conferences. There's 2 ways conferences can get better. You can go out and expand and add better teams. Big Ten and SEC did that. But guess what else happened? Michigan and Alabama probably got worse, lost their head coaches. That's a lot in college football. Right? So you can go out and add better players. You can add USC. You can add Oregon. You can add Texas. You can add Oklahoma. Or if you're the ACC, you have to depend on the individual improvement of your teams. Can Louisville build off of what they did last year? Can NC State benefit from what they've done in the portal? That's really what it comes down to. But yes, for the record, I will concede SEC 1, Big Ten 2, ACC 3, but not a big gap. I think there's a bigger gap between the ACC and the Big 12 than there is in the Big Ten and the ACC. Big 12 and 4th, by the way. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly for Miller Lending, the home of the no-cost loan. I've told you about this before. I'll tell you about it again and again and again. Don't worry about the timing as much. The timing can always be right if you get a no closing cost loan, right? How many times is somebody who maybe knows better, maybe just pretends to know better, is going to tell you, oh, no, don't buy a house now. Wait till 2025. Rates are going to come tumbling down. Then it's 2025. Rates haven't come tumbling down. You still don't have a house. And you're looking at them going, I thought you told me this was going to happen. How about this? As an alternate, buy the house now. Don't pay closing costs and fees by getting a no closing cost loan at Miller Lending. That way, the money you save and cash out of your pocket can help you cover a little bit higher of a monthly payment. And then if rates come down, do it again. Refinance with a no cost, no fees. Costs you nothing. And then you get to live in your house for the year or as long as it takes for those rates to come down. Go ahead and give them a call. They can explain it to you, how they do it, why they do it, and why they've been doing it for so long when so many others have resisted. The number to call, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Stanley Cup Game 7 tonight. So much on the line. I'll tell you coming up.
It's the summer of soccer.
Federski for Capetti. It's stolen away by Hack. Hit the line by Gaines. A shot. He scores!
All the saves.
Polina with brilliant quick footwork across his 6-yard box to be able to recover and grab the strike from Kubo.
All the goals.
He just sends it back into the area for Swiderski. One touch. He scores!
The Triangle's home for Charlotte FC action. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle sports leader.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $10 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
It's Men's Health Month. Time to check under the hood and take stock of some things, and to talk about some important topics like testicular and prostate health. About 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. In fact, it's the most common cancer in men behind skin cancer, and about 34,000 men die from prostate cancer each year in the United States. Don't become a statistic. Schedule your preventative screening today. Arise, the urology clinic for men and Associated Urologists of Cary have got you covered. Our board-certified urologists can get you checked out and help with any urology-related conditions you may be dealing with, from low testosterone to kidney, prostate, and bladder functions, to name just a few. So make your appointment today at AriseTheClinicForMen.com. The best way to tackle preventable health problems is early detection and treatment, so don't ignore your health. Be proactive and schedule your screening today for you, for your family, for your future. Let's get this done at AriseTheClinicForMen.com.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event when Dave, the sales guy, asks, "Want to test drive the Rogue?" And I'm like, "Let's go." We're driving when Dave says, "Check out the VC turbo engine." I hit the gas and whoosh. I'm like, "Okay, I wasn't expecting that." Dave goes, "If you think that's cool, watch this." Dave shows me the miles per gallon and I'm like, "Whoa, that's pretty impressive fuel economy." Dave mentions, "These new cars are going fast." And in that moment, I had to have that Rogue. Crazy, right?
Wait till you hear how I got my Sentra.
Now get 2.9% APR financing for 60 months on Rogue. Shop the Nissan sales event. Visit your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. 2024 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city, 34 highway to 30 city, 37 highway for 2024 Nissan Rogue. Actual mileage may vary. For well-qualified buyers, 2.9% APR financing for 60 months on new 2024 Rogue in dealer stock. Example, 60 months financing is $17.92 per month per $1,000 financed. Actual down payment may vary. Subject to residency restrictions and INMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. N7824.
If winning is part of your game plan this season, then it's time for a trip to Pure Hockey. We've got the newest inventory in sticks, skates, and more arriving now through year end. So it's time to gear up and unleash your potential. At Pure Hockey, you'll find the biggest selection for on and off the ice. You'll also experience industry-leading personalized skate fittings with the newest in advanced 3D scanning technology. Plus, our rewards program is unbeatable. Head to your Wake Forest Pure Hockey store plus 2 other nearby locations and start earning today. Pure Hockey, your ultimate hockey headquarters.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows along with no interest for 5 years. Plus, a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate. If your inefficient windows are costing you too much for air conditioning, that's a big deal. Now during Window Nation's semi-annual sale, you can replace them and save a big deal too. Offer ends June 30th, so schedule your in-home estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. On a Monday, thank you for getting your week started with us, or at least your weekday afternoon started with us. Awkward way to say that. What I do know is you better ramp up the energy, Because tonight, Stanley Cup Game 7 is going to require a little bit of juice. Tonight is not only a Game 7 in the postseason, is not only a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Finals, is not only, Game 7 right there, those two words are some of the most exciting words in sports. But it is the deciding factor. Tonight is on so many big, overarching, legacy-type questions about these teams, certain players, the NHL as a whole.
History.
How people think about the postseason, how people think about 3-0 deficits, this will be referenced. There'll be 20 years from now, someone will be trying to come back from a 3-0 hole, and what are they going to do? Remember back in the 2024 Stanley Cup Finals when? And then you got to finish that sentence, right? When Edmonton fought all the way back to make it 3-3, and then either the Panthers were able to backs against the wall rally, or the Oilers went down and ran all four straight.
When you think about some of the biggest players in sports icons, really, throughout sports, Derek Jeters, Michael Jordans, Wayne Gretzky's, Connor McDavid now has the chance to solidify himself or get himself inserted in the conversation of the next up-and-coming best NHL player.
To me, here's what it does for Connor McDavid if it wins. And there's a few different all-time legacy questions happening here. If he wins, meaning if the Oilers win, he ascends to the next level of superstardom, which means we stop comparing you to people of this era,
right? And
we start comparing you to the singular people of other eras. And I know there's a little overlap. Sidney Crosby is going to be one of them. They technically play together, but let's be real. Sidney, his moment as the singular force in the league, it's past. You see it happen, and it's so fun, right? You start to get out of the arguments about are you the best right now and start to get into arguments of where do you rank all time. And what you need for that to happen is hardware. You need trophies, not just individuals, right? Not just the MVPs, not just the all-stars. You need championships. Probably multiple, but one gets you in the conversation. It's the cover charge into a pretty rare club is you got to walk in with a championship trophy. So I think he gets there if they win tonight. And he gets there with a bedazzled version, right? He gets there with a special, a unique one, being down 3-0 and leading that comeback. But let's look at it from the other side quickly. We'll come back to McDavid because it's fun to talk about that style of legacy. The Panthers will either see their dream realized or they will become an unbelievable laughingstock. I'm not sure there's a greater discrepancy in one game for a team in my lifetime. Maybe think about how often the jokes are made in the NBA about don't forget the Warriors blew a 3-1 lead.
Yep.
That's unbelievable. And that's just a 3-1 lead. And they were blowing it to LeBron.
And what's kind of worse for the Panthers is that this is back-to-back years they've gotten to the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, I can't remember how many games it went into last year in that series against the Vegas Golden Knights. All I know is when the Golden Knights did clinch the Stanley Cup Finals, they absolutely sizzle-jacked the Panthers in that game.
Sizzle-jacked, I like that.
It's 9-2.
The Panthers, obviously last year's loss didn't do them in, didn't ruin them. The Panthers would have a very hard time not being ruined by the type of loss this would be.
Yeah.
Right? I think of it similar to and maybe because it is a series and there's time in between, even more so, similar to Rory at the U.S. Open at Pinehurst. Right? You miss those two putts down the stretch, you got to do some serious work on the space between your ears before you're ready to compete in high-level golf again. That might ruin you. And it's because golf gives you so much time to think about it, right? What if I miss? You don't want to have that thought. How can you not? Oh, I haven't had one of these in 10 years. What if I miss? What if I miss? Well, the Panthers have spent since Game 6 doing their best not to think, what if we miss? What if we lose? How brutal would that be? Oh, gosh, everyone would look at me. I played, obviously not NHL level, but I played in college football, and I can tell you the thing I hated most was after a bad game, people telling me it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. Oh, you didn't play that bad. Oh, it's okay. I was there. I know what happened. 2 plays, we changed the outcome of the game, and those 2 plays were on me. Like, I know, and all I would do, like, if you're the Panthers and you lose, you're going to get so much, it's okay. You're going to get so unbelievably bombarded with, no, it's fine. You played well. No, really. Yeah, but I'll even put it in Canes terms. The most frustrating thing about the Canes' last 2 postseasons for me is that you feel the need to provide context, right? Oh, the Canes got swept by the Panthers in the Eastern Conference Finals. All of you have the same innate kind of built-up instinct that I do, right? Well, it wasn't really a sweep. Yeah, it was 4-0, but there were 2 overtime games, 2 one-score games. It was so much closer than that. They really were as good as the Panthers. It's just one thing here or that. You feel the need to do that, right?
Almost like this past playoff in the second round.
Exactly.
Oh, they're down 3-0, but they've been right there in every game.
It was so close. And they actually fought back to come back, those 2. I mean, the Rangers were not a better team. You feel the need to do that. Imagine how much explanation you're going to feel the need to do if you are a Panthers fan and they lose tonight.
I mean, this might be a little bit of an exaggeration, or it could very well be true. You might have another country laughing at you.
Oh, common enemy, right?
I don't think anybody in Edmonton went to work today. I think they're just already getting ready for the game.
Yeah, they're tailgating like in their driveways. They're just like, hey, can't make it to Florida, but let's get outside.
It feels like since Game 4, when you thought, okay, maybe they'll just get the gentleman's sweep against the Oilers, everything has been going wrong for the Panthers as far as uncharacteristic turnovers, not handling the puck well, even seeing Bob get pulled. I've been calling him the Great Wall of Bob. Maybe I'm a jinx because the Great Wall of Bob is like not looking too good. Like it's starting to crumble.
A little deterioration on the Great Wall. And then on top of all of that, like if you just take away everything we just said, if you take away how they got here, it's still just a Game 7. Game 7's mess with your brain if it went 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3. Game 7s have an interesting way of making you press or be tight, and that has nothing to do with the legacy of the laughing stock and the jokes and everything else that comes with it. Rod Brindamore, head coach of the Canes, obviously a storied member of the playing fraternity, the players fraternity in the NHL, was on with Adam Gold right before this show here on 99.9 The Fan. He was asked about waking up on the morning of a Game 7.
Yeah, I think I can only relate to, like you said, it happened for us, it was relief. I didn't realize how much stress I was carrying around until all of a sudden I woke up that morning. I'm like, okay, it's over today. Like, win or lose, it's done. There's nothing left. Like this, and it felt kind of reassuring for some reason. And I just, that's how I felt about it. I don't know the other guys, but it just felt like kind of the pressure kind of came off. It wasn't like it was on. So that at least that's how I felt in the morning. And I remember, my little boy and Skyler at the time in the morning saying, hey, and he's like, Dad, you better win this thing. Like, let's go. And we just kind of went about our day. And, obviously it worked out.
It's true, though. And actually, I when hearing that, it brought me do you follow the Stanley Cup on Twitter?
Yes.
Like the actual cup? Do you see what they tweeted today?
I will be claimed tonight.
I will be awarded tonight. That I do think might ease some of the nerves for a team, right? Like that's what Rod was saying. He didn't realize throughout the series how many nerves he was just carrying around with him. And on Game 7 day, it was like, hey, listen, win, lose, or draw, tomorrow, I'm not going to feel like this, right? Tomorrow, it's going to be awarded, and it's either going to be good or bad. Sometimes it's nice to just know that.
Well, I mean, essentially, even though Edmonton has everything going for them heading into Game 7 tonight, Game 7, to me, I feel like are the just most even playing field like sporting games.
That's like and
scenarios.
There might be a statistics professor out there listening that's going to argue with me on this, or maybe they're going to say, "Goodness gracious, Tim, you actually learned something in statistics class." If I flip a coin, right, and it's a true, well balanced, no trick coin, it's not a magic coin, not double sided heads, none of that. It's a true coin.
I'm back in math class.
I flip it 6 times, I get 6 heads.
Probability.
What's the probability it's going to be heads on the next one? It's still just 50-50. Every time you flip a coin, it's 50-50, right? So it may feel like, and I believe in momentum and all that, so it's not exactly, but it may feel like, oh, because the Oilers won 3 straight, they're more likely to get the next. Or maybe because they won 3 straight, it means the Panthers are due. What it really comes down to is the same things that determine what wins a game in Game 4, the same things that determine what wins a game in Game 5, the same things that determine what wins a game in Game 6, determines what wins a game in Game 7. Who plays the best fundamental hockey, right? Who gives the most effort? Who stays locked in? Now, added on some difficulties of nerves and everything else that are heightened, but it still comes down to who plays the best hockey.
I mean, you want to talk about probability. I can't remember who I heard this stat from. Maybe it was Pecan Subban on the ESPN broadcast, but I think there's a stat out there where during the regular season, every time Edmonton lost 3 straight, they followed it up with at least a 4-game win streak. So take that information.
So you're saying this is how they planned it. They said every time we lose 3,
they knew what we were doing all
every
along.
time we lose 3, we win at least 4. So let's just dump the first 3, then we're good. Then it's a win. It's in the bag. Wish they would have told me that. Probably could have got some decent odds on the Oilers to win it all when they were down 3-0.
Now, that's not any advice. I'm just putting that out there. That's just what I heard through the grapevine.
My advice is if you could get a time machine and go back to when they were down 3-0 and bet on the Oilers, my advice would be to use that time machine. I don't think I have to get in trouble for any legal, like, oh, you're not allowed to give that advice when it involves a time machine. Secondly, if you have a time machine that's working, give me a call. There's some Google stock I want to buy in like 1998.
Right.
Let's hear from Matthew Tkachuk of the Panthers on exactly what we're talking about, how all of that leads up to Game 7.
Very even series, even though, we won 3, they won 3. I mean, for us, both teams to have an opportunity, most teams when you lose 3, a playoff series, you don't have a chance at another game, and somehow both of us have an opportunity still. So very exciting, kind of leave it all out there. Desperation on both sides, and it's been a very even series, I feel like. So it all comes down to this.
I mean, that's one way of looking at it.
It all comes down to this.
They won 3, we won 3.
Spot the lie. There isn't one. There isn't one. I used to, that's the weird logic you use as an athlete. I remember we could be down 30 at halftime, and there'd be somebody saying, are they better than us? And we'd say no. Like, all right, well, they beat us by 30. So as long as we're at least as good as them, we can beat them by 30 and a half, right? It's not the best logic, but it works just enough to get you to go out there and try your hardest in the second half.
I feel like it's one thing to say that, though, when it's been, maybe Oilers take Game 1, Panthers take Game 2, Oilers take Game 3.
Yeah,
but it's been back and forth.
You as an athlete, you're always tricking yourself, right? Like when you're running sprints, you're always telling yourself it's going to be the last one. Right? Coach is probably going to make you run 10, but you tell yourself it's the last one. Why? Because no one ever quit on the last one. Right? All right, we got one more. We got one more, 300-yard gasser. You run it, then you get back on the line, and you're like, oh, wow, he's going to make us do one more. All right, one more. Because no one ever quits on the last one. Like, you're always playing those games with yourself. The Panthers should be sitting there saying, hey, it's 50-50. Right? They won 3, we won 3. That's why Game 7 happens. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. A lot of intensity in that one. Right now, text keyword music. That's MUSIC to 919-860-5326 to enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see I Prevail with Hailstorm and special guests Hollywood Undead and Fit for a King at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 9th. That's a lineup right there. Those are some band names. To enter to win the lineup once again, I Prevail with Hailstorm and special guests Hollywood Undead and Fit for a King. It's all at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 9th. If you want to win the tickets, text keyword music, MUSIC, to 919-860-5326. Remind me for the numbers game later today. Let's ask people if they were to be in a band, start a band, what would they name their band?
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a good, sitting around, or if you need an icebreaker. If you were the lead singer in a rock band, what would you name your band? Anything pop to mind, Graham?
Trying to think of something that relates to my name, since you always like to come up with these creative nicknames.
Grambling Ding Dong?
I don't think I can go with that.
Grambling State University?
That's
Graham Cracker?
I'll come back to you.
Okay.
I'll give some ideas.
Anyway, text keyword music, MUSIC, to 919-860-5326. Enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see I Prevail with Hailstorm, special guest Hollywood Undead, and Fit for a King. Coastal Credit Union Music Park, July 9th.
Graham Hill and the Gramophones. There we go.
Graham Hill and the Gramophones.
You all come out and
you're putting yourself like the highlight. You're Gladys.
Tom
you're Gladys
Petty and the Heartbreakers.
You're Gladys Knight. Everyone else just a pip.
Yeah, Bon Jovi is essentially like an entire band, but everybody just
Van Halen.
Yeah.
You think you're Eddie Van Halen?
I don't know about that. I don't even know if I want to be, but I've been Graham
Bruce
Hill and the
Springsteen
Gramophones.
and the E Street Band.
We'd all come out in silk suits and do like a little line dance with horns and
You're
stuff.
gonna slide out?
Yeah.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The NBA draft is coming up on Thursday. How about that? The story of the NBA draft, right? And many of you are going, oh, yeah, NBA offseason's going on, right? We have all these postseasons going on. Pay attention to the NBA for a little bit here. The story is the uncertainty. It is unreal how little we know about this NBA draft. And that is kind of exciting. It feels kind of like 1997, right? Where I'm trying to think who was in 97. That may have been Duncan's year, so maybe not the best year. But it does feel like we know there's so many leaks and so many agents want everybody to know that their client has a guarantee at pick 8 so they won't fall out of the top 10, that we go into a draft and at most somebody's going to move up or down like 3 or 4 spots. Like it's not going to be – it's how long since we've had a true tumble in the NBA draft? Right? Aaron Rodgers sitting there in the green room with cameras in his face. We haven't had that in the NBA draft in a long time because you can so often pin it to different teams.
I mean, essentially, there's 2 ways I see this NBA draft going. It's either Bronny James and everybody else or everybody else, and then Bronny James, kind of in that Aaron Rodgers scenario, sitting there with cameras in his face on the Bron, just like in the backcourt making calls like, JJ, come on.
I don't even think Bronny's going to be there. And actually, let's talk about that, right? Because the uncertainty of this draft makes it a wild week for guys like Jared McCain and Kyle Filipowski from Duke, or even Harrison Ingram from UNC, who's expected to be a second rounder. McCain and Filipowski are both going to be at the draft in Brooklyn. This might be a year where by the way, I've said this on record, I think I wouldn't go to the draft even if I was projected to be the number 1 pick. I think I'd want to spend it with all of the people that helped me get there. I always like the idea of a round of golf in the morning of the draft, maybe 2. But that's neither here nor there. Even if I wanted to go to the draft, I think this would be a year where I'd consider staying home because you don't need the added stress. You don't need the uncertainty. If I'm Jared McCain, I think there's a realistic shot Jared McCain's a lottery pick. I think he could go 10, 11, 12, something like that.
Oh, okay.
I also think he could go 30th, right? I think there's some lack of explosion that some NBA teams will sour on because they're so used to give me the guy that runs fast, jumps high, and I'll turn him into a basketball player. Jared McCain is very much a basketball player that may not be the most explosive athlete on the planet. Can shoot, can handle, can do all that. And if I didn't have a guarantee, I think I'd be staying home. Same with Filipowski. Filipowski, at one point in time, was seen as no way he's going to fall out of the lottery. Now I'm seeing him in the late 20s. If you're projected in the late 20s in a lot of ways, that means you are a hop, skip, and a jump. Maybe not even that. Maybe just a hop from going into the second round. You don't want to be a guy there at the draft, falling into the second round, end up a meme. Every time you lean over to talk to somebody, that you're getting blasted all over social media. You know who was invited to the draft and didn't accept it? Zach Edey. 2-time National Player of the Year at Purdue. 7'3", 7'4", whatever. He's being mocked late first in most places. Said thank you, but no thank you. I don't remember a basketball draft that is this up in the air, but it feels like Zach Edey is very he's got to know, right? He's not like a hey, everybody kind of likes him. You need to be into a certain type of player to draft the 7'3", 7'4", multiple year college big. And even he's like, I don't know, I'm out.
Yeah.
Harrison Ingram, mid-second. He is out of UNC. He is as consistent of a projection as I've seen. Harrison Ingram, mid-second round, like between pick 38 and 48, has been everywhere, right? Every single mock drafter just slots him in there like 45. It slots him in there 38. Like, it's just they're all of them. I'm not that confident.
I mean, USA Today doesn't think Ingram will be a first-round pick, but NBA.com predicts the 6'5" forward with also a 7-foot wingspan. I feel like that should have something going for him. Will be selected early in the second round by the Indiana Pacers.
A team that I guarantee you, both Filipowski, maybe not Filipowski, the other two, McCain and Ingram. I think they both end up going to teams that want to win now. I think they have skill sets that can, like, you don't need to give them the ball a ton. They can both shoot. Which really, really helps a contender, and shooting tends to translate. I think both of them will go to a contender. I could see Filipowski going to a team that's rebuilding and wants to build around a 7-footer that can shoot.
And then how can we not forget Mr. Armando Bacot himself?
You think he's going to get drafted?
He can't come back to college. I mean, so
I anticipate him getting every shot to make the NBA as an undrafted free agent.
He had a pre-draft workout with the Los Angeles Lakers. Oh, my gosh. Could you imagine?
I think he could end up on the Lakers.
Armando Bacot and LeBron James and J.J. Redick all together?
I mean, I think Armando Bacot right now, his goal has to be to make a team. I think he could get a shot in Summer League with a few different teams. But I could see him ending up in the Lakers. I could see a team that wants, like, for lack of a better term, a professional young big man on the end of the bench going with Armando Bacot. You know he's not going to be a distraction. You know he's going to show up ready to play. You know he brings a certain skill set. I could see that, but I don't think, the draft. He'll watch the draft and he'll get excited with every pick, and then he'll get to work the moment the draft is over.
Armando Bacot coming in to give Anthony Davis a break, coming off the bench.
I see.
Maybe
he won't be.
No.
He won't be the guy spelling him. He'll be the guy spelling him if someone and maybe a couple other guys get hurt. But hey, there's a lot of money to be made being the 12th guy on an NBA bench and working your way into a roll down the road where maybe you can get in the rotation. I'm a big fan of Armando Bacot. I think his age and I think, again, lack of explosive athletic ability is going to lower his NBA projection coming out of college. But that's not to say he can't be effective down the road. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have football at 4 coming up next. Is NC State changing their identity on the football field? It seems that way. I'll tell you why and how coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
They take out a guy who is unhittable, and before Edwin Diaz could throw a pitch, he gets ejected because, I don't know, he had maple syrup all over his hand.
Something questionable.
Right? Very questionable. Right. There's a reason why he was unhittable probably 2 years ago. So he tried to get away with it. It wasn't on his glove. It was on his hand.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Victoria Vodnecker from 99.9 The Fan here with Dr. Brenna Houlihan from Wake Med. She's here to educate us a little bit more on Men's Health Month. Now, people may not be aware of this, but the technical screening window for a colonoscopy's changed, right?
It has in the last couple of years. We're now really recommending it at 45.
Much earlier, right?
Yes, earlier than 50 that most people are used to. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you have a first-degree relative, meaning your parents or siblings that have had colon cancer, you actually need to do it 10 years before the age that they were diagnosed, or 40, whichever comes first. The day before, you do have to kind of purge out the system. So you have to do clear liquids. It makes us be able to see everything in the colon. But the day of the colonoscopy, you get some medication, you snooze, and before you know it, it's all over.
Well, definitely important to know, especially if you fit that bill. Thank you so much, Dr. Houlihan, for your information. If you have any more questions or want to find a provider local to you, visit wakemed.org.
Did somebody say free diamond bracelet? That's right. Diamonds Direct is expanding upon their best offer yet. Make any purchase this month and receive a free diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. That's right. Any engagement ring, any diamond necklace, any timepiece. Purchase any item valued at $10,000 or more and receive a stunning diamond tennis bracelet at no extra cost. Every purchase of $10,000 or more qualifies. So hurry into Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet ends June 30th. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Gilbert worked in retail and restaurant management for 14 years. It was time for a change.
I recognized where I was at was vulnerable to the whims of the economy.
Then he heard about My Computer Career. Gilbert went for it.
In as little as 7 months, I got all of my certifications at a fraction of a cost for college.
He became an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
I can work from anywhere. I have more time for my family as well.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows along with no interest for 5 years, plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate at 866-90-NATION or windownation.com.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, Creighton Blackwell here from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Today, we are at Holly Springs High School, and we're here to celebrate the next Scholar Athlete of the Month, Emma Penkunis.
She's a really great teammate. She's always looking out for everybody on the team and is a great leader. She's willing to set up her teammates for success and just puts herself in the position to help everybody out, and it's been really cool.
Emma is all in. She has been since the first day I met her freshman year.
My community is everything to me. So being able to kind of reach out and get back in these different areas and to people that have had such a big impact on me is just something that's rewarding in itself. I'm someone who have always prioritized my academics, and athletically, once I set those goals for myself, it became a big priority in my life. So to be able to maintain what I want, have those goals set, makes it really easy to kind of focus on what's important. I've had so many people, not even just teammates, but throughout my club, throughout my high school experience, including my parents, that it's just everyone is pushing me to be as successful as I can be. And when I have so many people that are driving me and trying to keep me on track, that it just makes it easy to do it myself. And it makes it so much easier where you're not also trying to be successful for myself, but I'm trying to be successful for those people as well.
Congratulations, Emma.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have recognized scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Cold front sweeping through, bringing us a small chance for showers and thunderstorms east of the triangle, but still quite hot with a high of 95, feeling more like close to 100. 70 overnight tonight, and tomorrow will be mostly sunny and hot with a high of 96, again feeling like around 100 with the heat index.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones remains up at 290 points at 39,441. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
Football at 4 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Today, we take a look at a big weekend for NC State football recruiting. And, obviously, we could dive into the star rankings and the high school stats, and we could dive into the, what they have and what they're doing. I think it's more important when you look at things like recruiting to look at the bigger picture, right? I think you can tell a lot about what a school is trying to do based on who they're recruiting and how they're getting them.
Or we can just dive into how this has been a recurring theme ever since North Carolina beat Carolina in football this past season, and Dave Doran gave a chain of command or a command of orders.
Where he said I need 5,000 fans to give $1,000 each or whatever it was. And he hyped up the collectives and what was it, a whole pack of wolves, something like that, pack of wolves collective. And since then, it started with the transfer portal. It's gone into recruiting. It's on and on and on. It's been up and up and up. But here's the thing, not just recruiting well, right? Because honestly, that's a little tired, right? oh, they're averaging a 3.79 star, and this, and you can go on to 247 Sports, you can go on to Rivals, you can go on to On3. There's a whole bunch of sites that are great at aggregating recruiting numbers. I try to take the next step. All right, that's what we do here. We're a sports talk radio show. We're trying to take the next step. NC State keeps bringing in what I call the fantasy football positions. They keep bringing in the playmakers. Now, think about what NC State has been the last few years, right? It's been a lot of defense, right? Dave Doran loves to run the ball, and Tony Gibson loves to play smash mouth football, right? Tony Gibson, their defensive coordinator. Not to say they haven't had good receivers. They have. Don't get me wrong. They've had good receivers. They've had solid running backs, but recently it feels like most of their star power, the higher drafted players, the all ACC selections have come on the defensive side of the ball. Now, in my history following college football, I've always believed, and it's always kind of proven true in practice, that schools recruit more easily the players at positions they've had success at in the past, right? If Ohio State wants to recruit wide receivers, they're probably going to be able to get good wide receivers. Why? Because Terry McLaurin exists, because Curtis Samuel exists, because Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Jackson Smith and Jigba, because they all exist.
I mean, you'll see it with Noah Rogers this year potentially for NC State.
Noah Rogers transferring to NC State. It's actually a perfect example. But if this year NC State was able to get the pick of the litter at off-ball linebacker, that'd make a lot of sense to me. Right? If recruits were looking around going, I like what you did with Peyton Wilson, can you do that with me? That would make a lot of sense to me.
Dave Doran loves to say he's all about complementary football, taking the football away and protecting the football. It feels like he is hitting all cylinders right now with this offseason recruiting with all these guys he's bringing in.
Shai Battle, Aiden White, they've had some really good corners. If you told me they were recruiting corner really, really well, I'd be like, that makes a lot of sense. Wide receiver and running back. Think of this. I'm just going to list players and kind of give their background that have committed to NC State within the last year. Noah Rogers, who you brought up, right? Former five-star, depending on which group you're looking at, spent 1 year at Ohio State, is coming back home to North Carolina, is going to play for NC State. Wesley Grimes played for Wake Forest last year. He's going to come back a little bit closer to home, play for NC State, another top wide receiver. There's Paylor. There's Anderson. They have 3 incoming freshmen, top 100 recruits at wide receiver. They brought in Jordan Waters, running back from Duke, who was one of the top producers in the ACC. They brought in Hollywood Smothers, a running back from Oklahoma, out of the transfer portal. They brought in Justin Jolie, one of the best playmaking tight ends out of the transfer portal. In addition to all of the players that they brought in, the 3 stud wide receiver freshmen that I'm talking about. Now they're moving towards the next recruiting class. Over the weekend, Jarrell Boulder, wide receiver, R.J. Boyd, running back, Kentrell Reinhardt, running back, Arian Nunu Concepcion, who happens to be the younger brother of KC Concepcion, who is a stud on the NC State Wolfpack already. All of those players committed over the weekend. They also got a defensive back, Cam Strong, so it's not all offense. But how in the world did they become such a cool school for offensive skill position players to go to?
I mean, right now they're up to 8 commitments for the 2025 class. Concepcion is just the second in-state prospect to join the group so far. I know back in the day, Dave Doran used to pride himself as far as getting a lot of guys in state.
Build the fence, yep.
He has built this program up enough nationally to be recognized where guys, as you mentioned, South Carolina, Ohio, just different players from across the country, Florida, even down to Florida. Like they're recruiting against SEC country now. They're wanting to come and see what NC State is all about. I think of this often, right? And I didn't have the ability to get recruited by a whole bunch of Power 5 schools. Wish I did. Didn't happen. Wish if a triangle school would have recruited me, I would have come here. But I do, I have enough friends and family that have been recruited as high as anyone that I kind of get it. And it blows my mind when a team can get 2 running backs to commit the same weekend.
They got Boyd and Reinhardt the same weekend. That's tough. There's usually only one running back on the field at a time. To get guys in the same recruiting class without the gap to, like, explain it, right? If you got a running back to commit today, 2 weeks later you got another running back to commit, there was probably some conversations that took place that said, well, you know, you're a bigger bodied guy. You'll play earlier. He's more of a project. We're hoping he's going to play a little bit later. Hey, you know, he's got the ability to catch out of the backfield. We expect you to be the goal line back. Like some kind of explanation to make it make sense. To get running backs to commit back to back, that just shows how cool it is to play for your school. We've been talking about this for a while. If these wide receivers pan out, and I'm not even saying all of them, right? If, 60% of them turn into what they were supposed to be as a recruit, it's going to be tough to keep everybody happy.
I feel like NC State, and this is a good problem to have for Robert and I and the rest of that offense, but they're going to run into a problem of how do we get touches for this many guys on offense? How do we get the ball to this many guys?
Part of being an elite school, and that's what NC State's trying to be, right? Obviously, with no conference championships in the last however many years and all this, they're not there yet. But to be an elite school, you need to be able to win the recruiting battles that make me scratch my head. Right now, I'm scratching my head a little bit, right? Because I'm going, if you're a wide receiver, I mean, Casey Concepcion had a great year. Not really any other pass catchers had great years for NC State last year. A couple guys could have made more plays, but didn't really get the opportunity. What is making all these wide receivers go there? I'm scratching my head. That's how you know you're a good team. That you're recruiting so well doesn't exactly make sense. I can't tell you how many times, and obviously Alabama's going to take a step back without Nick Saban. I can't tell you how many times I saw like a 5-star commit to commit to Alabama to back up like a freshman 5-star from the previous year, right? You see like 2 freshman offensive tackles play for Alabama. They're both all freshmen, All-American. And then the next recruiting class, they have like 3 more 5-star offensive tackles committing. And I'm going like, huh? Could have gone anywhere else and started as a freshman, right? You're a 5-star. Instead, you're like signing up to back up a draft prospect freshman All-American for the next 2 years. Huh? But that's how good Alabama was. That's how you become an elite prospect. NC State's starting to do that a little bit at wide receiver. I'm going, they just recruited 3 studs at the wide receiver spot, and they have a bunch of like Noah Rogers will be a junior when you're on campus, this class that's committing, right? Wesley Grimes will be a junior. If Casey Concepcion doesn't go pro after his junior year, he'll still be around. Like those things, they're there. You know what I mean? They're there. And again, it would make sense if Tony Gibson was doing this, their defensive coordinator, because I think he's maybe the best defensive coordinator in the conference, right? So if he were loading up on talent and people were lining up because they wanted to learn and play for Tony Gibson, I can wrap my head around that. But let's not pretend like NC State's offense at all points in time last year was fireworks on every down and distance.
The other side of this, Tim, and when you think about this is very rare to see in college football programs. I'm going to call this the college football bloodline, as far as you're starting to see siblings of one another commit to the same program. You saw it with Ryan Finley and Ben Finley at quarterback, and then you saw it with Dare Thomas, wide receiver, and then his little brother Drake Thomas on defense. And now you're seeing it with Casey Concepcion and his little brother Arian Concepcion. I want to make sure I get his name right.
They call him Nunu, but yes.
I like Nunu better. I think that's a little more slick. But I mean, yeah, they're becoming like a college football bloodline.
Yeah, and well, the thing is, I've fortunately in my career covered a bunch of different schools. I do think every school very much champions that. I remember covering Virginia Tech, and there were 2 Adibis. There's a whole bunch of Fullers, and a couple of them ended up, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. There's a Fuller that won a Super Bowl as a defensive back with Kendall Fuller with the Chiefs. And then there's Kyle Fuller, who was a first-round pick played with the Bears for a long time. There's the Wangs, offensive linemen. There's a lot of brothers in different schools. I don't know if that – I think it comes down to how good the older brother is. Because if the older brother is good and starts early, he's turning around going, it's awesome. If the older brother isn't very good and has to grind away, they usually don't like the coach and tell their brother to go somewhere else. But But you're right. And you know what else it does? If the next Concepcion is coming to Raleigh, probably increases your chances of keeping Casey Concepcion around, even beyond this season, right? Wants to play with his brother. That's no small feat. So even if you have to, give a scholarship to a guy, if that keeps Casey Concepcion around, you do that. And I'm not saying that's the case here, but I'm saying even if Nunu wasn't a good recruit, which he is, all the accounts say so, even if he wasn't, you still might consider offering him a scholarship, right? Thanasis Antetokounmpo has been on the Bucks for a while. Probably has a lot to do with Giannis. You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we have the Podium, we have Olympic trials, we have the Storm Tracker. We have a lot to get to. Stick around.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Dave Doran and the NC State Wolfpack have somehow turned their buzz, turned their sizzle into an offensive version of that. For so long, it's been winning with defense. It's been Tony Gibson, their defensive coordinator, Peyton Wilson. Well, now they can't turn away wide receivers and running backs from the recruiting and transfer portal. Maybe it's a new Dave Doran. Maybe offense first.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money. Your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get you your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I order the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
Hey, you love what you love. So save on your faves like a sausage McMuffin with egg or bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles for just $2.50.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Hank Bauer, Chairman, ABC Commission. And we're here to talk about Talk It Out, NC. This is about training the parent, isn't it?
100%. And it's not on the child, it's on the parent. I found something the other day. So 17% of North Carolina fatalities for teenagers are because it's alcohol. So if you just think about, you have to wake up the next day and your child's not there because you didn't have the courage to have this tough conversation with your kid. It's imperative.
The website, talkitoutnc.org.
Get ready for a night full of big fights and big action. It's UFC 303, and it can be even bigger. Jump in on all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. The light heavyweight title is on the line in the main event, but there are so many more amazing matchups happening in Vegas. Money lines, parlays, props, live bets, and so much more. The betting options feel endless on DraftKings. And speaking of amazing, if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TIMD. That's TIMD with no spaces for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Get that big fight feel only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at dkng.co/MMA.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give MVP's Pro Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not an MVP's Pro Rewards member? Join today. Visit Lowe's.com/Messi for more details.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine.
Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There's a lot to get to here. We have an Olympic trials update coming up. You know what I'm learning more and more about myself? I absolutely love the Olympics. You throw anything with the USA on the jersey, I'm into it. I'm watching sports in these Olympic trials that I didn't even like. It's literally once every 4 years.
It's like the U.S. Open whenever it comes to Pinehurst.
Well, except I care about the U.S. Open every year. I care about golf tournaments every week. The Olympics, like, I mean, I was watching the steeplechase the other day. I don't even fully understand the steeplechase. I don't know why they're hopping over these things. It's kind of crazy. I was into it. And when the guy won, I was like, he gets to represent America at the Olympics. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But first, in kind of appropriate fashion, we have to get to the podium.
There it is.
There it is.
Fanfare.
It's like it's not quite the Olympics when we talk about the podium, but we do give out a bronze, silver, and a gold once a week, every week here on the Drive. So it's like our own mini Olympics. Today we're doing drafting, or we're not drafting. We are awarding medals to the draft wishes for the Canes. The NHL draft is coming up later this week. Like, it's that soon, right? It's this weekend. This offseason for the Canes really is like, I don't know, boxing against like Tyson or something like that. Like, just every step, it's like, boom, here. GM resign. This guy wants a new contract. This guy's in free agency. Here's your new GM. Here's the draft. Here's free agency. Offer sheet talk. It's like every single day there's something new, something new, something new. Extensions. Will the Russian prospect be able to come over from Russia? Like, every day it is something new. This draft offer, this trade offer, this trade offer. So we're looking towards the draft, trying to get ready. And I'm big on setting expectations before things, right? I don't like people that are just negative for negative's sake. I'm fine being negative. Some people think I'm too negative on this show. I see your YouTube comments. I'm fine being negative, but as long as you said so beforehand. Right? What I mean by that is I get really frustrated going into a draft when, like, you don't say what would make you happy, right? I'll use basketball just as an example because the NBA draft's also coming up. If you say, like, hey, if my team gets a 7-footer that can defend the rim, I'm good. And then they don't get a 7-footer that defends the rim, be upset. Think they did the wrong thing, especially if there was a 7-footer that defends the rim available. Right? Then it's like, no, I'm on record. You didn't do the thing that would have made me happy. What I get frustrated with is when people don't say what they want before the draft, and then they're mad at everything, right? Then they draft the 7-footer or the point guard or the shooting guard or the 3-and-D wing, and you're just mad, and you were going to be mad regardless because you think it's fun to be mad after a draft. It's why I do take pride in, like, hey, we complimented David Tepper last week, right? Because we said things that we wanted to see him do that would make it better for him as an owner of an NFL team, and then he did it.
Who would have thought?
And so I'm going to do the same here for the draft, right? Or sorry, for the podium. Bronze, silver, and gold as far as things, meaning archetypes, not an individual player. Because, gosh, I do not pretend to know all of, like, the KHL prospects and the junior prospects and all. The hockey draft pool is too crazy for me to dive into the nitty-gritty and go, like, what I really want is this 18-year-old Canadian. I don't get it.
You don't know Svechnikov Heidel?
I do not know whatever you just said. Okay. What if I just lied? Like, oh, yeah, I know him. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Those stories are always funny. So like completely make it up. Oh yeah, I know that person. I have no clue. So anyway, bronze, and this is my standard answer. Goalie.
How could you not? Yeah.
Can't have too many. Keep throwing darts.
It's like insurance.
It's like, there are certain lefty relievers. Like if you're going to draft a left-handed pitching arm, I don't think any Major League Baseball fan in the world should be like, darn, that's such a bad pick. Edge rushers. If you're in the NFL and you're ever on the clock as a GM, clock's winding down, you don't know what to take. Is there anyone 6'4", 240 and above and rushes the edge? Give it a try. Now, don't trade up for him unnecessarily, but you can't have too many edge rushers.
Or running backs on the other side of the ball.
Late round running backs? Give it a go. Why not? Goalie is kind of that way for me, especially because, we see in a postseason run, we see it so often what an elite goaltender can do. And imagine if you had extras, how much you could sell that for, right? How much could you get for Martin Necas? Well, what if, Pyotr Kochetkov turns out to be your guy for the next 15 years? How awesome would that be?
I mean, if you're the Florida Panthers right now, though, you can also see what happens on the wrong side of things for an elite goaltender.
If they go cold, but if anybody goes cold. So bronze goalie, like you will very, very, very rarely hear me say, should not have taken that goalie. 3-point shooting in the NBA. Oh, you need spacing? Beautiful. Take the shooter. Silver defenseman. I think looking at the next 3-4 years when you would expect a prospect, especially if you're taking maybe a little bit more developed prospect, next 3 or 4 years when you would expect a defenseman to be coming up, they're going to need defensemen, right? Obviously, Burns won't be around forever. Slavin's going to be skating with somebody. Orlov won't be around forever. Chatfield's around for 3 more years, and then depending. You have Scott Morrow, who you like as a future. You have Nikishin, who you like as a future. But, I think part of the beauty of that Kane system is those defensemen it feels like they come at you in waves. They're in great shape. And now that you have a 5-year contract for Rod Brindamore, I think you're going to, you can plan to be in that system for the next half decade plus. Defenseman makes a lot of sense to me. Can never have too many. Similar to a goalie. Can never have too many. Lastly, gold medal. This would be my number one want. A center.
Yeah.
Give me a centerman. They've been drafting a lot of wingers recently, and it was actually funny. I was talking with Adam Gold, who hosts the Adam Gold Show directly before this one, during our staff meeting earlier today, and he's like, the Canes have a type. This scouting staff has a type. Undersized, mostly Russian wingers. A couple Swedes mixed in there. But that's kind of what they've been drafting, which tells me, yes, it's partially they have a type, but also partially those roles are taken in their development system, right? The AHL Chicago Wolves, if you have all these wingers coming from Russia that are going to be playing there in the next couple of years, there might not be the space to develop more high-level wingers. Go centerman, right? Draft a center. Find somebody that might be that center superstar for you.
Can I throw in a caveat on that?
Sure.
Caveat.
You can throw some caviar in it, but also a caveat.
Yeah, one of the two. Can it be an automatic goal scorer center?
If they exist, go get them. Or even if they have the potential to maybe be. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. Your pipeline seems pretty stacked with wingers and actually a lot of defensemen as well. I just think you're going to need more of them recently. A center ends up being the gold medal spot, right? So here's what I'm saying as far as if you do this, I will concede that I am happy. If you draft a center in the first round, I will sit here on Monday and say I am pleased. If you draft a winger, if you draft a left or right wing, I'm going to be sitting here saying I don't love it, right? I'm fine being negative unless you don't come out and set the parameters ahead of time.
I mean, can we draft the next up-and-coming Vincent Trocheck?
I mean,
gosh, I miss him.
We could list a bunch of centers that I'd like to draft. Heck, draft another Aho. Why not?
You can never have too many Ahos.
Yeah. There is an Aho. I think he's available as a free agent. Another Sebastian Aho from
the Islanders.
Yeah, I think he might be available. So
how crazy would that be?
Don't need that Aho. Don't need that. What if they just made him like number 21? sold the jersey. He had 20 Aho, 21 Aho.
Sebastian Aho 1 and Sebastian Aho 2.
Yeah.
Like the Dr. Seuss, thing 1 and thing 2.
Can you give him number 02 so it looks like a reverse image? So there you go. That is the podium of draft wants and wishes for the Canes heading into the draft later this week. Now we can. Do you want to keep this music rolling?
I was just about to ask, can we just keep fanfare rolling?
Let's keep the music rolling. Give a little U.S. Olympic trials update. First, let's start with the local. Graham, what are the people with local ties doing in the U.S. Olympic trials?
Well, first, let's start off right down the road from us, going towards Southern Pines, actually. Pass by it on the way to Pinehurst. Holly Springs diver Andrew, and I hope I get his last name correct, Capio Bianco?
Sure.
Close enough?
Sure. The divers who you're talking about.
Yes.
Yes.
Holly Springs diver. He's heading back to the Olympics. Capio Bianco is silver medalist at the Tokyo Game in synchronized springboard. Won the men's 3-meter springboard event at the U.S. Olympic Diving Trials in Nashville on Sunday.
You know what I like about this guy?
He's from Holly Springs, and he has a cool last name.
Yes. And then third, I think it's cool to go from like the team event to the single event, right? Because he was in synchronized diving last time. Now he's going solo. I feel like that's a big moment for a diver to be like out there on your own.
I hope I'm not the only person. I hope there's plenty of people that are driving their cars right now. They're wondering the same thing. What's the difference between synchronized and single?
Synchronized is two people going at the same time, and it's all about how exactly the same you're doing. So are your turns and twists and flips, and by the way, I'm not a diving expert, but are they perfect? Do you hit the water at the exact same time, at the exact same angle? Single is like how difficult and how good do you execute, how well do you execute each individual dive? There's no teammate. It's just you out there.
You say you're not a diving expert, but I mean,
every 4 years I watch a lot of Olympics.
You could have fooled me.
My favorite training camp in college was when the I think it was the 2012 Olympics in England was going on, because when you're in the training room at like 3:30 in the morning, getting ready for a 5 o'clock practice or a 5:30 practice, you're getting taped up and iced up and everything. The TVs would be on like international team handball, and I'd be learning the lessons of international team handball or whatever the heck was going on in the other time zone. So I was all in. Who else we got?
Up next, former NC State swimmer Ryan Held. After a devastating moment 3 years ago, Ryan Held is heading back to the Olympics. He missed the Olympics on a technicality. It was a devastating moment in his career, he said, but it motivated him to just keep swimming,
Missed the Olympics, so he didn't get to go last time?
Correct.
On a technicality.
Technicality. Never leave it up to the officials, folks. But now the 28-year-old Held officially became a team member Saturday night in the 4x100-meter freestyle, a spot taken from him 3 years ago.
That is brutal, but also lovely. It's like for 4 years, or I guess it was only 3, right, because of the COVID extra year.
Right.
But that's just got to keep you up at night. And now you get to make it. Same with someone I'm going to bring up in a little bit. But all right, that's pretty cool. Who else you got?
Sticking with NC State swimming and diving coach Braden Holloway will join Team USA as an assistant coach for the women's team at next month's Olympics in Paris. Holloway, a 10-time ACC Coach of the Year, is one of 6 coaches for the men's and women's teams. Holloway was the men's head coach for Team USA at the 2022 World Championships and the 2019 World University Games. So, Tim, to go with all of NC State's accolades between the men's and women's Final Four, the cross-country championship, the baseball team making it to the College World Series, now they got some Olympians representing us in Paris.
That's pretty cool. Also, just have your coach there is kind of cool if you're one of the NC State tied swimmers. And it's like a credit to the coach. I always thought of like when Coach K coached the Redeem team, coaches don't get medals, by the way.
That's a great example.
Even if the teams win, the coaches don't get they took a picture afterwards where all the players took all of their gold medals and put them on Coach K. So he had, I think it was 12 gold medals on to show his appreciation. I think coaches deserve to be honored. I think that's a cool way to do it. I don't think they should get medals. I think they should get like a watch or something.
A plaque maybe? Something to go up in their office?
Something adjacent to. What else you got? One more quickly here.
One more? Oh, that's really all I had.
Okay, perfect.
That's really all I had
that way
set
I
up.
get to go to mine. Because listen, we're gonna track the local ties throughout the Olympics, but also I feel like during the Olympics, like we're locally USA, right? We're locally America. So we're gonna track all the big stories. Noah Lyles winning the 100-meter dash at the trials. he's going to do something. He's going for 4 sprinting medals. He's going for the 4x4, the 4x1, the 100, and the 200. He's most successful at the 200, but he smoked the 100-meter dash. He's going to be one of the stories of the Olympics. And for some reason, he has like Yu-Gi-Oh cards that he carries with him while he runs.
Yeah, I was going to ask you
which
about
is
that,
like a
'cause you were
Pokemon
bringing it
card.
up. Okay.
I don't really get it, but when they like introduce the player and they show each of them, and usually they look at it like smile or they mean mug. He takes out like a kid's trading card, shows the camera, and then like tucks it into his singlet.
Is it a blue-eyed dragon Yu-Gi-Oh card?
Maybe.
That's all I remember about Yu-Gi-Oh.
I don't know what that means, but maybe. How about this? Have you seen Quincy Wilson?
Yes.
I want him to make it. Tonight, 16-year-old Quincy Wilson is in the final for the 400-meter. He broke his own. So basically, twice in the last 48 hours, he has set the under-18 world 400-meter record. 44.59 seconds is his record, which is absurd. I guess he actually has a chance if he runs really, really well and runs a little bit better than that time to make the Olympics. Can you imagine being one of these other guys in the blocks? You're, I don't know, 31 years old. You've been working your entire life to make it to this race. It's like everything is on the line. You feel like you finally kind of got a chance to achieve the greatness that you've been destined for. You get in the blocks, you look left or right, and there's a 16-year-old like, hey, mister.
Hey there, sir.
Ready to run? This is crazy, huh? It's like, wait a second. I've been working my entire life to do this. So there's stories like that throughout the Olympics. We'll keep you updated and keep you running right up until Paris. With that being said, it is time for the Storm Tracker. The Storm Tracker, the part of the show every day at 4:33, when we look at the rumors, the leaks, the imminent information dispersal surrounding the Canes offseason, and we break down the rumors, which ones we like, which ones we don't, which ones are plausible, which ones aren't. Graham, what rumors are we looking at today?
With the ominous music in the background. I'm always afraid I'm always afraid that when I hit it, I've done it way too loud. There's going to be somebody driving their car that like.
It's not a siren or anything. Nothing's going to get us in trouble.
Anyways, Rod Brindamore kind of talked about it earlier when we went back to his interview that he did with Adam Gold on the Adam Gold Show, which airs previous to this one. We all know the Carolina Hurricanes. There you go. We all know the Carolina Hurricanes, and live on YouTube. We know the Carolina Hurricanes are going to look completely different this upcoming season.
Not completely, but very, yes.
Very different. And one part of that group of players that is not going to be a part are some of the defensemen. And Brett Pesce is likely done in Carolina, according to the fourth period's David Pagnotta. Pesce will hit the market on July 1st, bearing a last-minute huge offer for the Hurricanes. If Pesce does reach free agency, plenty of teams will have interest in him.
This is where I've been pretty, and I think you go back and look up all our YouTube and all our podcasts and everything, you'd see that I've been pretty consistent. I don't think Pesce or Shea are coming back.
Yes.
Not because they don't want to come back, not because the Canes don't want them back. It's pure finances, right? The Canes, like you don't want to insult a player like Pesce or Shea based on what they've done for your team. And you wouldn't want them to take like, a 50% discount to stay around. They've earned the right to cash in, to change their generational wealth, and they're going to do that in free agency. So it's like, what do they call it? Like a mutual decision. Like to me, it's like an amicable breakup, right? It's, hey, you're going to go do good things. We're going to do great things here. We're rooting for you in every game other than ours. I've said this before. I think the Canes have gotten to a point that every really, really good contender gets to. You just hope by the time you reach this point, you have a cup, right? Because that makes every departure a little bit easier. Most teams, you win a Stanley Cup, and then in the next year or two, you might run it back once, maybe twice. In the next year or two, you have to make some hard decisions because everybody has what I call the cup glow, championship glow, which means every bad team out there wants to sign your players because they're like, you can teach us how to be a winner. The Canes have gotten there where like Shea and Pesce can go show a defense how to lock down, and they can be a leader and how to work hard and what it's like to have a great culture, but you don't have that cup, right? If you win the cup and then it happens, it feels much more like, hey, we achieved what we set out to achieve. Now you go on and do different things. If you don't get the cup, it feels like, are you sure there isn't a way we could get him to stick around? Maybe we could come up with a little bit more money. Maybe we could buy out Kokaniemi and trade Natchez and make it work. And it's like, yeah, maybe. But then I think you're stretching too hard, right? Sometimes you just have to look around and say, gosh, we got close, didn't we? Darn. Good luck.
Another part of this, kind of going off the example you just provided of not having a cup, is that Brett Pesce, if you remember, he's one of those core – he was part of that core roster back in 2019 that jump-started these consecutive playoff runs again.
And again, like I said, that's why it would be so much easier if you had a cup, right? To say Brett Pesce came here, he was part of the core, he saw it all the way through.
Thank you for your time.
He got to hoist the cup and man, we're always going to have that. Now you're sending him away, and it's less like it's more bitter and less sweet. There's much less of that, and instead it's like a little unfulfilled, right? A little empty, just that one thing that you wish you could have done. There's much less like, hey, we'll always have the good times of all those first-round victories. Like it's not going to be the same.
And it's almost an element of what could have been as far as securing his extended contract going into this season, because he didn't really play at all in this past Stanley Cup playoffs.
And in the postseason, which is tough. And maybe that hurt. Maybe that's one of the what ifs that you're going to have to deal with. I'm just looking at it and saying you have to pick almost 5 guys to build around, and everybody else is going to show up for eras, right? And the 5 guys, Slavin, Aho, Svech, Jarvis, and I've said this, I hope it ends up being Kochetkov. And that can be your core. And then there's eras. Then there's like, oh, remember the Pesce-Shea era when they were around for the first, 5 years? And maybe there's going to be Orlov era if he gets re-signed or something like that. Like there's going to be eras guys are going to shuffle through, and you hope you're able to find a way to make it happen. But that era, the Shea, Pesce kind of era of the Canes is, I think, coming to a close. And it didn't achieve its loftiest goals. It did achieve a lot of good, but not the top things that they were hoping it would.
And you can say what you want to say about his on-ice production. I know there's sort of some mixed feelings amongst the fan base as far as what he really does when he gets his time out on the ice. But just in this free agency class right now, you could argue he's one of the top right shot shutdown defensemen.
Oh, you're going to see his value by how much money they bring in. They're both going to get paid a lot of money. And you're going to see, dollars show value in professional sports. Trades show value in professional sports. And I think you're going to see that a bunch of other teams are very high on those 2 guys, which is why by the way, if they weren't good, you could bring them back easy, right? If they weren't talented, yeah, then the Canes could easily afford to roster them all, but then you wouldn't want to because they wouldn't be good. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly for my friends at Capital Financial Advisory Group, and of course that includes Coach Pete. Coach Pete is passionate about helping guide you through retirement, and after 3 decades in the financial arena, he is still building customized and total retirement playbooks. In fact, he recently told me about the game-changing strategy behind a successful and total retirement plan. It's just like the game of football, right? Broke it down in terms I would understand, which I very much appreciate. You want to gain yards as you advance the ball down the field on offense. That's building your money. That's growing your money so you have a complete maximized income when you retire, while also having a defensive strategy in place to protect yourself, right? You don't want to gain 80 yards and then turn it over in the red zone. Bottom line, you don't want to lose your gains. You don't want to have to depend on the market to lock in your gains. With the blueprint he can provide for you, you can be sure to do all that. A strategy that Wall Street tries to keep from you, but Coach Pete is passionate about helping folks build their retirement with this very strategy. The team at Capital Financial care. So they're passionate and they care. It's a good combo. About getting you not only to retirement, but all the way through retirement, methodically developing a total retirement plan designed to grow with you from one season to the next season, all the way through retirement. Give them a call, 800-691-3215. If you want some hookups, free books, free educational information, the complete and total retirement plan, make sure they know you heard about it right here from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. 800-691-3215. Say you heard about it from me, Tim, or you can just text my name, Tim, T-I-M, to 600-700. That's T-I-M to 600-700 right here. You heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan. It's Capital Financial Advisory Group. When we come back, David Lawrence, Carolina Mudcats, joins us.
Move your sports day forward.
We're not talking about a year here. We're talking about 10 days. This team is going to look different. You've heard the promos that we run for the show about how this team has played itself into more pay, how these players have played themselves into more pay, and what's fair and what's not. Just be prepared. The Eric Tulsky era is now upon us.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a walk-off grand slam or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Did somebody say free diamond bracelet? That's right. Diamonds Direct is expanding upon their best offer yet. Make any purchase this month and receive a free diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. That's right. Any engagement ring, any diamond necklace, any timepiece. Purchase any item valued at $10,000 or more and receive a stunning diamond tennis bracelet at no extra cost. Every purchase of $10,000 or more qualifies. So hurry into Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet ends June 30th. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
A few contest rules from sports radio stations The Fan, The Buzz. No purchase necessary, 21 to enter and play. Limited to 1 entry per person and 1 prize winner per family or household per contest every 30 days. Employees of Capital Broadcasting, its agencies, sponsors, subsidiaries, other broadcast companies, and immediate families of the above are ineligible to play. Winners are verified, complete documentation, and are responsible for all taxes and prizes received. All prizes are non-transferable and cannot be redeemed for cash. Winners give sports radio the right to publicize his or her name, likeness, or voice. Sports may change contest rules and prizes at any time and holds no liability for canceled or postponed events. Complete info of sports radio contests available at WRALSportsFan.com. or during normal business hours at 3100 Highwoods Boulevard in Raleigh.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Welcome back into the drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Joining us now in studio, David Lawrence, the Carolina Mudcats GM. David, we appreciate you for taking the time. We were just talking off air, and our producer Graham was getting involved, so I think you understand his North Carolina bona fides.
Yes.
Before you showed up, we were talking a little nostalgia for Graham because the move is coming. You're leaving Zebulon, heading over to Wilson. Why the move, and when do you expect to be in your new digs?
Yeah, it is. It's a little bittersweet for a lot of folks, for sure. Especially when you think of nostalgia and you think of a team that's been, in a location for 30+ years. But we're still in Zebulon for the remainder of this year. We're going to be in Zebulon for all of next year, and then the 2026 season is when we're slated to kick off a new stadium in downtown Wilson. And so certainly there's excitement about that. Everyone likes new, of course. But so, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a transition, but we're excited about it. And again, for 2026 to kind of, kick things off in the new digs.
And as a GM, I mean, are we talking like, the build-up, everything's about facilities nowadays, right? We're seeing it in Charlotte with the Panthers. You're seeing it at every college stadium ever. They're going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is. One of the things that as they've been working with us and in conjunction with the city and developers is to have a really nice facility.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, now there's some Major League Baseball standards that are now part of all affiliated teams across the country. But in addition to that, the fan-facing amenities, the club levels, the suites. There's actually they're slated to be a hotel that's going to be part of the actual structure of the stadium. And so to use kind of from this area, to use the Canaleses and to use the Fayettevilles of the world as kind of a little bit of a barometer to kind of look at newer facilities in minor league baseball at the Class A level. Those have certainly been used as comparisons and comps.
David Lawrence, Carolina Mudcats GM, joining us here in studio. David, which the better the facilities, the better the product, the more it seems like you guys would cash in all those chips to help the community. I'm looking at your calendar for games coming up here. There's a first responders night this Friday. There's a military appreciation night this Saturday. There's a teacher appreciation day this Sunday as the son of a teacher. That one obviously rings home. What does it mean for those specific groups? Like what are they getting on their appreciation days?
Yeah, I mean we've tried and we will certainly continue. This is something we've done for quite a few years. And we've just tabbed it as Heroes Weekend, and certainly we don't want to leave out any heroes because there are a lot of heroes out there. But trying to kind of narrow it down. Friday, as you mentioned, is first responders. So there's a discounted $5 ticket for first responders, and then a discounted ticket for their family. We're going to honor them before the game. We're going to honor them during the game. We want them to come out and have a good time. And then shifting gears to Saturday, military appreciation. Certainly in this area, that is something that's near and dear to a lot of folks. Same type of ticket opportunity. But the first 1,000 fans are going to get a military camo Mudcats jersey.
Nice.
First 1,000 through the gates. So again, to do that, and then last but not least, as the son of a teacher as well, and husband to a teacher, Sunday, honoring the teachers, and we've done some partnerships where we've been able to pick some classrooms of the year and their entire classes. And their teachers are going to come out and be honored, get to throw out first pitches, and again, just be honored and celebrated really across the board.
Well, see, now that you're doing this, you get to with you're being the son of a teacher and the husband of a teacher, you get to deal with what I deal with, which is when I speak with poor grammar, I just imagine my mom going, it's have, not got, and it happens the entire time I'm on this show. So now that you've joined us, welcome to the club.
Yes, well, now I will be critiqued even more with more scrutiny than maybe before. But yes, you're exactly right.
And then again, looking at the calendar, there's so much going on, and this is part of what I love about minor league baseball is the creativity, where it's baseball and almost beyond. There's always something going on. Mudcats for America series coming up the July 4th, obviously, 5th and 6th. What does that mean for fans? What else are you getting?
Well, again, we love to have an opportunity and a backdrop for people to come out and enjoy great baseball. But just as important with that, especially in minor league baseball, it's family, it's fun, it's affordability, and so July 4th, 5th, and 6th, all 3 nights, we're going to do what we've done for years is one of the largest fireworks shows, certainly in eastern Wake County and in that part of this area, and all 3 nights. So you can make it to any one of them. You can make it to all of them. CarolinaMudcats.com has got all your ticket information. But, again, for folks here near and dear with the show from eastern North Carolina, we are playing the Wood Ducks. So, that's a great opportunity to come out, see some great baseball, but also see some great fireworks.
And I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? It's minor league baseball in July. There's the fireworks. It's like Sandlot. It's all those memories kind of linked into one. And part of minor league baseball, I've told this story on air before, so if you've listened often enough, you've heard it. But one of my favorite things about minor league baseball is I saw them before they were them. My version of that is I saw for the Trenton Thunder in like 1996, maybe, Nomar Garcia-Parra. May have been earlier than that, which is perfect for a little kid because Nomar's name is one you look at in the roster and you're like, oh, that's my favorite player, Nomar. And then he went on to be something. And the Mudcats recently clinched the first half division title. Is there I looked at your list of alum. Do we have another Miguel Cabrera or Matt Holliday or Dontrell Willis on the roster? What are we looking at?
When we were coming in talking about some of the guys from the last few years, the Jackson Cheerios, the Sal Frelick, the Bryce Turang folks, Joey Weimer.
So many Brewers, yeah.
So many Brewers that are playing. But on this year's team, we've got the I think 11th, 12th, and 13th guys in the Brewers farm system. Cooper Pratt is a shortstop, second baseman, 18, 19 years old, really playing well, is going to be probably one of those guys. Yoferi Rodriguez, outfielder, number 12 prospect, again, 18, 19, and then Croth, one of our right-handed pitchers. So while there's plenty, those are 3 that have certainly stood out and helped lead us to the first half division and guaranteed a playoff spot. And, it is minor league baseball. So as they continue individually to improve, we may not see them, in the second half of the season because they may move up, which is what we hope. Selfishly,
bittersweet, but yeah,
it's bittersweet. But that's
rooting for the kids.
You're rooting for the kids, and that's what they're here for is to develop. It's player development, and their next step is to move up. So
once again, that's David Lawrence, Carolina Mudcats general manager. Tell them one more time where they can find tickets if they heard something they like.
Absolutely, it's CarolinaMudcats.com. It's got our schedule. It's got tickets. It's got all the information that you might need to get yourself a ticket and come out to one of our games coming up over the next 9 games here in about 12 days.
David, we appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Tim. Appreciate you.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Will be back with the starting 5 coming up next. Stick around. It's Men's Health Month, and WakeMed wants to remind you to protect your skin to reduce your risk for skin cancer, sunburn, and premature skin aging. For any exposed skin, sunscreen should be worn. It should be broad spectrum to fight UVA and UVB rays, an SPF of 30 or higher, and be water resistant. Apply sunscreen 15 minutes prior to exposure and every 2 hours. So whether you are headed out to mow the lawn or to get in 18 holes, make sure you are covered, literally. For more information, visit wakemed.org.
This is Gordon Miller, founder of Miller Lending and Carey, with 2 exciting announcements. Back in 1950, my father and uncle moved to Detroit and opened Miller Brothers Realty, a business they ran for the next 50 years. Fast forward to 1996, and I moved my family to Raleigh and opened D&J Mortgage, a company I'd named after my children. And today I'm happy to announce my sons Daniel and Justin will be leading Miller Lending as we head towards 100 years in real estate and lending, all the while following the one basic principle I learned growing up in that environment. Always treat your customer as you'd want to be treated yourself. Now, while Miller Lending has long been associated with our popular no closing cost program, I'm also excited to announce the opening of our purchase money division with a strong emphasis toward helping first-time homebuyers navigate the mortgage process. So whether you're buying a new home or simply refinancing the home you're in, call Miller Lending and experience the benefit of working with a locally owned family business. In Cary, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows along with no interest for 5 years, plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate at 866-90NATION or windownation.com.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give My Lowe's Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not a My Lowe's Rewards member? Join for free today. Visit Lowe's.com/Messi for more details.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell has a great sense of timing, like bringing out Southern Blackberry Cobbler ice cream in time for summer. Rich ice cream with luscious blackberry flavor combined with flaky pie crust pieces and a blackberry swirl. The perfect summertime treat.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your favorite grocer. If you can't find it, be sure to ask for it.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. A slight chance for a shower or storm early this evening. Clearing overnight, 72. Hot again tomorrow, mostly sunny, maybe a tad less humid, 95. Aiming for 100 degrees again for the day Wednesday.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones closes the day up 260 points at 39,411. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities. This final hour of the drive brought to you by Pure Hockey. Get ready to unleash your potential this season. Your Wake Forest Pure Hockey store has inventory of the top gear arriving from now through the end of the year. Pure Hockey, your ultimate hockey headquarters.
5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The starting 5 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Go to gotbrian.com. That's gotbrian.com. They are powering the starting 5. And the starting 5 every day at 5 starts with number 5. And number 5 is Game 7. Stanley Cup Game 7 tonight. We've talked about the stakes, right? Connor McDavid can enter rarefied air as an individual. We've talked about the stakes. The Florida Panthers are either going to be celebrated and immortalized or become infamous and made fun of. Like, there is so much on the line. But the million-dollar question that's going to decide all of that is, have the Panthers figured out what happened? What was different between the first 3 games and the last 3 games? What was different between going up 3-0 and losing the next 3? Think about how crazy it – like, there was a point in time where both the NBA and the NHL Finals were 3-0. Celtics were ahead and the Panthers were ahead, and it felt like just – it's pretty much just a formality at this point. It doesn't feel like a formality anymore. Ray Ferraro, the broadcaster, was asked what changed the last 3 games in the NHL Finals.
The biggest thing is that the Panthers play at their best, a very aggressive, a very in-your-face style of play. And when they got pumped 8-1 in Game 4, it really felt like they lost their nerve. The way that they have to play is to be physical, to forecheck, to get their defense up into the play. But I think they got spooked. And so now they're not quite as aggressive. They're kind of stuck in the middle. I think the biggest thing for 3 games is the Panthers don't look like the team that won the Eastern Conference Championship. They look like a team searching right now, and, man, it's the wrong time of year to be searching.
I agree. The part I agree with is how it feels like they're kind of in the middle, right? And that happens when you start to press, when you start to maybe, like, you know, the football equivalent is play prevent defense, right? When you start playing not to make a mistake rather than playing to win the game, it's just a slight difference, but everyone that's ever watched sports, played sports, coached sports, you know what it feels like. It does feel like the Panthers, I would say they cranked back, meaning they lowered their aggression and intensity maybe 12%, just to pick a number, 12%. Right. And all that did was like, well, we don't have to be as aggressive. We just need to make sure we, you know, it's here's the moment. Have you seen the movie Secretariat?
Yes.
Diane Lane, John Malkovich.
The horse.
Also the horse. I can spoil the ending of Secretariat considering it's based off of a true story that happened decades and decades ago, right? So there's the final scene, right? It's the Belmont. Like, Secretariat has to win the Triple Crown in order for all of this, you know, the family farm would be saved, and like there's all this riding on it. And he's ahead by $1 billion, right? He's like getting ready to lap the field. And the trainer, played by John Malkovich, just looks down and screams at the jockey, Ronnie, don't fall off. Right? Because they're going to win as long as the jockey doesn't fall off the horse. When you get to that point, you're going to tense up, right? You're going to hold on to the reins a little bit tighter. You might not push it as hard. You might not take as many chances. Now, if you are actually ahead by 30 lengths, you can do that, right? Maybe you slow down a little to make sure you don't fall off. Meanwhile, if you're ahead 3-0 and then 3-1 and then 3-2 and you're still clenching the reins extra hard and you're taking off the gas a little bit and you're just worrying about not falling off, you're not worrying about finishing through the line. That's what it feels like for the Panthers. They're not worrying about not finishing through the line. They're worrying about playing prevent defense, right? Especially, I think the nature in which Game 4 happened has really rattled the Panthers. It was 8-1, right? And it's almost like they took upon this, like, hey, as long as we give up 4, right? We can't give up 8. As long as we give up, then we give our guys a chance. Right? The defense and the goaltenders didn't give our guys a chance in Game 4. So let's make sure we give them a chance. And it's like, no, you need to go try to win the game. Go try to win the game. Every time there's a comeback happening, and I know I'm cross-sport analogizing a lot. Every time a comeback is happening in football, there's that moment after the quarterback hasn't thrown in like a half a quarter where they're like, all right, 3rd down, got to sling it. And I'm always going like, that's so unfair. Just keep throwing it, right? Keep running your offense. Keep doing what got you the lead. The Panthers felt like they took their foot off the gas. That's not what got them the lead. And now they're in the tough situation they are.
I mean, they're searching, right? They're searching for their forecheck. They're searching for establishing the aggressiveness.
Searching for goals, searching for
game. Yeah,
goalie
searching
play.
for goals, searching for saves, and just searching for that clean style of play that we've been used to seeing them do to get them to this point. Except now the point is it's 3-3 going to Game 7 tonight.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun one to watch. You know what else is going to be fun to watch? Number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
Tennessee, Texas A&M, Game 3, College Baseball World Series, all the marbles. Same situation, right? Game 7, Game 3, Game 7 NHL Finals, Game 3 College Baseball World Series Finals. The fact of the matter is this. One team will look back on this game for eternity with what ifs, and the other team will look back on this game for eternity with how awesomes.
I mean, I remember when North Carolina and NC State were still battling for it. North Carolina more specifically because they were on their side of the bracket. We were saying, oh, well, if they can get past Florida State, it's all fine and dandy. But then they had the monster Tennessee staring at them right in the face. And I feel like the big question going into the College World Series was, who's going to be the team good enough to take down Tennessee? Well, just in Game 1 of the best-of-3-game series, Texas A&M announced their presence with authority.
And Tennessee, backs against the wall, answered in Game 2. And that's how you end up in Game 3.
That's what makes them a good baseball program.
I'm not sure if I've told the details of this story yet, but just because it's a national championship, winner wins, loser loses. My sophomore year at the University of Delaware, we made the national championship game. Notice I did not say win. We made it to the national championship game. It was in Frisco, Texas. We were playing Eastern Washington. One of the cooler weeks of my career, right? We get all the pomp and circumstance and all the lead up, and it's being played in a big stadium, and it was going to be a good time. I think we were ahead 19-0 at half, and we lost that game. 21-19, I think was the final score. I'm acting like I don't know this exactly. Like that's what happened. 2010 national championship, we lost. The what ifs of losing a national championship are brutal.
Yeah.
We missed extra points. We missed extra point kicks. And this was the old close, like the college extra point. Like we were not that far. We had a kicker that did not miss extra points. We missed extra points. We had a dropped pass that went off the chest and was intercepted. We had a blown coverage against their number 1 wide receiver. We had a 4th down call that we got the first down, and this is where I sound like a complaining guy. They moved the ball before measuring. I've never seen anything like it. It was just like practical. Now, I'm not saying it was a good call or a bad call. I'm saying they couldn't even tell us if it was a first down or not because they moved the ball before they could get the chain gang out there and then said, we don't know where the ball was. It's an absurd maneuver. That's what's on the line tonight for Tennessee and Texas A&M, probably even on a bigger scale because we were FCS and they're the true Division I, the big schools. Like, if you don't win this one, and I was a backup quarterback on that team, I can see the plays replayed in my brain right now. There was a play, I was in the huddle. It was a timeout. One of our wide receivers had his Jimmy Chitwood moment. He looked at the quarterback and said, throw me the ball. I'll make the play. Quarterback, the read didn't take him there, but he threw it anyway because he was thinking it was a Jimmy Chitwood moment. He was going to go make the play. Interception. And it's like I could replay it all. And you think you're going to get back. You don't. You don't always. We never did. I'm laughing so I don't cry, right? It's laugh so the tears don't come. That's what's on the line. And that's why championship games, particularly Game 7s, Game 3s, when, there is no double elimination. There is no, if we lose, we get to play Game 6. It's all there. and you're going to remember it for the rest of your life.
I mean,
right?
the equivalent to that, the missed field goal and everything tonight is
we missed extra points.
Extra points. Leaving runners
missed
on
field
base.
goals happen. You missed like a 49-yarder. We missed extra point.
Missing extra points. The equivalent to that in tonight's game for the College World Series, that's leaving runners on base. That's a 3-2 count, fastball down the middle, and you look at it go right by you. Don't swing at it. You got to lay
errors
it all
in the field.
Yeah, errors in the field.
It's ground balls that you make 95 out of 100 times. It's those plays that are going to eat away at you.
You got to lay it all out. If it's a shallow pop fly into left field or anywhere in the outfield and you're on third, you got to go for home. Doesn't matter if you get picked off. Just try to make the play.
Well, I mean, it matters if you're going to try not to get picked off, but I hear what you're saying, right? Leave it all in the field. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
Are we about to see? And Graham, I know you'll appreciate the name here.
All right, I'm ready.
Are we about to see Air Doran?
All right.
Are we about to see Dave Doran go out there and try to outscore teams?
The air raid attack coming back to NC State.
Are we about to see NC State trying to put up 300-400 yards passing? We're about to be Phillip Rivers, Russell Wilson, Mike Glennon, that style?
Ryan Finley,
Jacoby Brissett. Where are we going? Because they're recruiting wide receivers as if they're going to be playing 4 and 5 at a time.
Kelvin Harmon, Emeka Emezi. Feels like those guys are coming back.
T.J. Graham.
Thayer Thomas. C.J. Riley.
Thayer Thomas, I keep getting emails from my son's soccer league. He's throwing like a youth camp, and I think 3 years old might be a little young to understand like route concepts from Thayer Thomas. But
right.
One day, if he's still throwing him in the area, we'll be trotting him out there. Here's what I mean. Casey Concepcion is going to be on the field as often as you possibly can. Noah Rogers is going to be on the field as often as he possibly can. Wesley Grimes needs to be on the field a lot. Paylor, the recruit, needs to be on the field a lot. Anderson, the recruit, needs to be on the field a lot. Justin Jolie, the tight end from UConn, needs to be on the field a lot. Jordan Waters needs to catch passes out of the backfield. He's a running back that can do a little bit of everything. And that's not even getting to the point where you're including some of the other veterans. That's not even getting to the point where you're including class of 2025, which is committing this weekend. 2 more wide receiver commits, 2 more running back commits. I think they're going to have to be a little 4 wide, running back in the backfield. Even when Jolie's in there as a tight end, split him out. This is going to have to be Air Wolfpack, just based on personnel, right? So much of what a coach and offensive coordinator does is get the best 11 guys on the field, right? That's positionless football, right? If your running back's your best player, get him out there, even in 5 wide, have him in the slot. Like they need to get their best 11 on the field. I don't see how their best 11 doesn't include 4 wide receivers on most plays. They're going to be wildly talented at positions, and I said this earlier. When you get stacked up at a position that you have a history of being great at, makes sense, right? If you are let me think of a better example. Like if Oklahoma State just had Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders come through, it would make sense to me if they suddenly had like 6 stud running backs wanting to commit to them. If you are tight end at Iowa, that might be the best example, right? Noah Fant, Dallas Clark, George Kittle. There's one more that TJ Hawkinson. I believe they're all Iowa guys. If you're a tight end and you want to go to Iowa, 3 or 4 of you, that makes sense. Let's not pretend like the last 3 or 4 years have been the best years for wide receivers in Raleigh. Casey Concepcion, it was a great year for him, but there wasn't a ton of production elsewhere. Yet somehow they're getting all these guys to commit. That's good for them, but it also might mean a change in philosophy. Because what have we heard about Robert Anae, their offensive coordinator? One of the best things he does is adapt and change.
Yep.
Right? One of the best things he does is look at the strengths of his team and builds his offense around that. His UVA offenses. You might remember Bryce Perkins, the running quarterback for UVA that led them to an Orange Bowl. You also might remember Brennan Armstrong's best seasons at UVA. Those two could not be more different. Bryce Perkins was running for 1,000+ yards. Brennan Armstrong was throwing for school records and 40 touchdowns. Same coach calling the plays. different beasts. So if he looks at this NC State offense and says, all right, I'm going to build an offense that makes sense for this skill set, we might get like Mike Leach style. Let's air attack it. It might be that kind of offense for NC State if he truly looks at what's best for the talent that they have. Grayson McCall, loosen up the arm. Pitch count's going to be high. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2. U.S. Olympic trials are going on. We talked earlier about some of the local players, some of the local athletes trying to make their way. I have a few more national spotlights. Sha'Carri Richardson is back and won the 100-meter dash at the trials, women's 100-meter dash for the U.S. Who was the local athlete you talked about that missed last time on a technicality?
It was Andrew. Now I'm going to forget his
name.
All right,
there was an athlete with local ties who
from Holly Springs
missed out going to the no. Holly Springs was the diver.
Yes, okay.
But the swimmer is the one that didn't make it.
This is from NC State.
Yes. Anyway, there was a local, we were talking about it. There's a local athlete, local ties. Ryan Hild, who missed out on the Olympics last time on a technicality. Brutal, but now gets to go back, and suddenly the story is a good one. Right? The story is perseverance, want to, can-do attitude, not letting any kind of setback ruin your career. Well, the same thing happened with Sha'Carri Richardson. And I know she's polarizing. I'm not sure why. But she tested positive for marijuana after winning the trials last year, or last Olympics. And that kept her out of the Olympics. And it became a thing where she was getting publicly ridiculed. It became a thing where and by the way, like, I do think it was stupid. Like, testing positive after that, I mean, on and on and on, don't do it. But the fact that she didn't let that become what she's known for, she's going to go out. She's got gold medal aspirations. Her time at the trials was the best women's 100-meter dash in the world this year. I think, the determination to overcome those problems and fight back is hopefully now the story rather than the opportunities she squandered last time. Caleb Dressel back going to the Olympics. Katie Ledecky back going to the Olympics. You need a couple faces of the team for the U.S. They're going to be amongst it. And then how about this? Carson Tyler is the first American diver, we're talking divers today, to qualify for the Olympics in the 3-meter springboard and the 10-meter platform since 2000. The first to do both since 2000. I'm a fan of talent. I like the versatility. Way to go, Carson. And then there's also a local diver from Holly Springs who's going to be competing with him on the 3-meter springboard. By the way, the 3-meter springboard is the one that's most crazy to me, because I feel like that's the one that was at every public pool when I was growing up, and it was always cool when you did like your first flip or your first 1.5. Then you see them do like 4, and you're like, goodness gracious. It's like why golf is fun, right? You watch golf because you're like, I played golf. I know how hard that shot is. Like, I've jumped off a 3-meter springboard. I've also jumped off the 10-meter platform. My school in Hawaii, one day a year, if you were in PE, they'd let you jump off the 10-meter platform because we had like a very good Olympic sports program. And all you would do is you would run off that thing and you'd do flips, as many as you can, tuck into a little ball, because you only got to jump one time and you didn't want to waste it. And half the time you'd land on your back. 49% of the time you'd land on your stomach. But that 1% of the time you hit it right, you look like you knew what you were doing. The other times it just hurt a whole bunch. U.S. Olympic trials are continuing to go on. We'll keep you updated because it's fun to do so. That is number 2. Let's get to number 1. July is almost here, Carolina Hurricanes. And July is when the true, ready for this, chaos is caused.
Oh, I see what I did there.
It's up to the Canes to make it good chaos. What I would like, and by the way, when I say July is when it opens up, that's when free agency opens up. That's when restricted free agents can sign offer sheets. That's when your unrestricted free agents can talk to other teams. It's when everything kind of opens up. It's when you can talk to other free agents. I would like to go into that chaos with the fewest amount of things on my to-do list possible. Think of like, what is the most chaos? before everything was bought online, before all online shopping, do you remember the Black Friday storming of Walmart and Macy's and all, where they would be lined up, and the doors would open and people would get trampled? That's what I look at when I look at free agency, right? There's going to be this opening of the floodgates, and everyone's going to be rushing to get the best deals, rushing to get Jake Gensel, rushing to get Brady Shea and Pesci, and rushing to decide if they want to sign an offer sheet to Martin Necas, and they're going to be rushing. And by the way, the other free agents all across the league, everyone's going to be rushing there as well. And it's just going to be a floodgate like Black Friday used to be before everybody just got excited about Cyber Monday instead. Now, if I were going into that, right, if I were one of those people getting my elbows up, ready to run into Target at 4 o'clock in the morning on Black Friday, guess what I'd be hoping for? A short wish list, right? I want to go get the one It toy for my grandkids, or I want to go get the TV that's on super sale. I want to get the flat screen. Whatever the one thing is, I want to know exactly where I'm running, have a plan, right? Up, to the left, all the way to the back to the entertainment section. Sprint, elbow the other people if I got to. Get there, get what I need. I don't want to have to go in and be like, well, we need the dishwasher, we need the TV, we need the DVD specials, we need the cool toy, the new Elmo toy for the grandkids, we need a rice cooker, we need whatever. I don't know. I'm just naming things that they might sell. If you need all those things, it's going to be hard to get them all, and you're going to miss out on some, and you're going to be disappointed. When the Canes get going, I want them to have as many things already checked off their list as possible. I don't want Seth Jarvis being approached by other teams about offer sheets. I want him locked up to a long-term deal before that starts, before the end of June, right? I don't want Martin Necas having to decide whether he wants to sign an offer sheet, which will match or not. I want him to be either traded or committed to in Carolina by the time July starts. I don't want Brady Shea and Brett Pesci to be out there negotiating with everybody and bringing numbers back to us. I want them to know whether we're interested or not by the end of June, right? It might be, hey, your numbers are going to be higher than what we can offer. We're out. I want those things checked off by July. You have a week to do it. Rod Brindamore joined Adam Gold earlier today on the Adam Gold Show right before this one, 99.9 The Fan. And Adam asked Rod if he's optimistic about re-signing some of those big-name guys.
It's tough because I understand both sides of it. And, the players, the other part that's tough is they all want to be here. There is a genuine thing. They'd love to stay. They love what we're doing. They love the area. But when there's, in their minds, and they have agents that don't care about any of what I just said.
Right.
And so they're sitting there telling them, whoa, let's just wait and see because there's X team out there that's going to pay this. And, the players have X amount of years to play. And so that's what makes it tough. So it's tough for me to sit there and go, hey, just, sign with us, come on. And then knowing that, they look at it a little differently too. So, it's that's what's been going on. Am I optimistic? I can guarantee you that. Well, I am optimistic, but I don't think we're going to be able to have the same team. So that's for sure. That is no doubt about that.
There it is, the key phrase. We're not going to have the same team.
I don't think they want to. This team feels like they've run into a glass wall in the postseason. A shakeup outside of the core, I don't think that's a problem. Now have a plan. Execute the plan in free agency, right? In the trade market, have a plan. But I don't think it's a problem that this team is going to look different. It feels like everybody's mourning, they're in some kind of a grieving process for the team. I think it's exciting to try something new, right? I believe Sebastian Aho can be the best player on a cup contender on a team that wins the cup. That doesn't mean everybody around him has to stay. See if there's some other way you can complement him in a way that can unlock some higher form of potential. I'm fine with it. That was the starting five, powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Go to gotbrian.com. That's gotbrian.com. Starting five, powered by Ritchie Law Firm. We need a numbers game contestant. Matter of fact, we need two of them. Sebastian Maniscalco is coming to PNC Arena on Friday, July 12th. It's coming up in the not-too-distant future. And if you want to win a pair of tickets to see Sebastian Maniscalco, one of the funniest stand-up comedians out there, I think he's absolutely hilarious. If you want to win a pair of tickets to see him at PNC on Friday, July 12th, go ahead and call in right now. You have to win the numbers game, but the first thing you have to do is call in now. 919-860-5326. We need a pair of contestants, 2 of you. Call in now. 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up next.
It's the summer of soccer.
Swiderski for Capetti. It's stolen away by Hack. Hit the line by Gaines. A shot. He scores!
All the saves.
Polina with brilliant quick footwork across his 6-yard box to be able to recover and grab the strike from Kubo.
All the goals.
He just sends it back into the area for Swiderski. One touch. He scores!
The Triangle's home for Charlotte FC action. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle sports leader.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Tar Heel Basement Systems. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at tarheelbasementsystems.com.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I order the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
Hey, you love what you love. So save on your faves, like a sausage McMuffin with egg or bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles for just $2.50.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event when Dave, the sales guy, asks, "Want to test drive the Rogue?" And I'm like, "Let's go." We're driving when Dave says, "Check out the VC turbo engine." I hit the gas and whoosh. I'm like, "Okay, I wasn't expecting that." Dave goes, "If you think that's cool, watch this." Dave shows me the miles per gallon and I'm like, "Whoa, that's pretty impressive fuel economy." Dave mentions, "These new cars are going fast." And in that moment, I had to have that Rogue. Crazy, right?
Wait till you hear how I got my Sentra.
Now get 2.9% APR financing for 60 months on Rogue. Shop the Nissan sales event. Visit your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. 2024 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city, 34 highway to 30 city, 37 highway for 2024 Nissan Rogue. Actual mileage may vary. For well-qualified buyers, 2.9% APR financing for 60 months on new 2024 Rogue and dealer stock. Example, 60 months financing is $17.92 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary. Subject to residency restrictions and in-mat credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. N7824.
Rise and shine, honey. We don't want to miss our flight.
Our flight is in 7 hours. And we have TSA PreCheck with our Navy Federal flagship credit card.
TSA PreCheck. Getting my bugle through security will be so much easier now.
Learn how you can earn up to 3 times points on travel with the flagship credit card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Did somebody say free diamond bracelet? That's right. Diamonds Direct is expanding upon their best offer yet. Make any purchase this month and receive a free diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. That's right. Any engagement ring, any diamond necklace, any timepiece. Purchase any item valued at $10,000 or more and receive a stunning diamond tennis bracelet at no extra cost. Every purchase of $10,000 or more qualifies. So hurry into Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet ends June 30th. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan Sea Salt Body Wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
Gilbert worked in retail and restaurant management for 14 years. It was time for a change.
I recognized where I was at was vulnerable to the whims of the economy.
Then he heard about My Computer Career. Gilbert went for it.
In as little as 7 months, I got all of my certifications at a fraction of a cost for college.
He became an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
I can work from anywhere. I have more time for my family as well.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game, where the prize for today is tickets, a pair of tickets, to see stand-up comedian Sebastian Maniscalco at PNC Arena on Friday, July 12th. Very funny stand-up comedian. The contestants for today, Graham and Raleigh, and this is not you, Graham. You're not electing to play?
Correct. This might even be the same Graham that we had from last week.
Graham always calls in when Graham is producing.
Hey, look at that.
Graham and Raleigh and Brett and Raleigh will be our contestants for today. We decided earlier what the question would be to find out who goes first. Graham and Raleigh, you get to answer first. The question is, if you were starting a band, and you're the lead singer, so you have the most input, what are you naming that band? Rock band.
Ooh, the Tilting Grandmas.
The Tilting Grandmas.
That's probably better than what I went with. I think I went with Graham and the Grandma-Lammas.
Graham and the Gramophones, I believe is what you
Graham
went
and the Gramophones.
Yeah, Tilting Grandmas
Or
is
Graham
funny.
and the Crackers.
That could get a little dicey. That's just because you guys have the same name, Graham, so you guys can compare. Maybe you guys should start a band together and call it the 2 Grams. Huh?
I love it.
Brett and Raleigh, we'll go to you next. Brett and Raleigh, what is, if you were the lead singer of a band, you're sitting around trying to come up with a name, what name are you going with?
Potato Salsa, and we're a mariachi band.
Potato Salsa, and we're a mariachi band. Have you thought about this before?
Maybe a little bit.
Because that came with some force. Graham, as always, when you're producing, you get to choose who has the better name.
I can't go bias here, so I got to go with Brett and Raleigh to go first.
The Potato Salsa gets the win.
That's just so unique.
That's the only way on this show. Brett, it also might be a little bit more of an advantage this time. Normally we have 4 categories to choose from, but as I just brought up the list, I looked at it, and 2 of them have not been updated from Friday. So there's only 2 categories to choose from. So whichever one you pick, your opponent's going to get the other. The categories remaining are NBA current players only or NHL Canes and Whalers only.
I'll do NBA.
All right, NBA current players only. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock. You have 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Sounds good.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Jaylen Brown, Boston Celtics.
Pass.
Kyrie Irving, Dallas Mavericks.
10.
Incorrect. Jaylen Brown, Duncan Robinson, Miami Heat.
13.
Incorrect. Jaylen Brown, Boston Celtics.
8.
Incorrect. Kyrie Irving, Dallas Mavericks.
8.
Incorrect. Duncan Robinson, Miami Heat.
13.
Incorrect. Jaylen Brown, Boston Celtics.
10.
Incorrect. Kyrie Irving, Dallas Mavericks.
2.
Incorrect. Duncan Robinson, Miami Heat.
33.
You were so close. Jaylen Brown with Boston Celtics, you said 8. It was 7. And you gave a 10 and a 2, so you're around there. Kyrie Irving with the Mavericks, number 11 is the answer. You gave 10, you gave 8, you gave 2, which I believe he's worn at previous stops.
Yeah.
Duncan Robinson with the Heat, you weren't really close on that one. He wears 55. That's just a weird number. Credit to you, though, because you got the question, or you had your answer chosen. If there's a tie at 0, you're going to have a shot. So sit on the line. We'll see if it holds up.
Thank you.
That brings us to Graham and Raleigh. Graham, are you there?
Very ready.
All right. The unfortunate news is you don't even have a choice. We only have 1 category filled out here in front of us. So NHL Canes and Whalers only. Does that sound good?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, perfect. I'll give you the team and the players. I will say the team, even though we already know the teams in this category, just to keep it fair with the other player. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You have 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Jake Gensel, Carolina Hurricanes.
15.
Incorrect. Jeff Skinner, Carolina Hurricanes.
17.
Incorrect. Jake Gensel, Carolina Hurricanes.
18.
Incorrect. Jeff Skinner, Carolina Hurricanes.
24.
Incorrect. Jake Gensel, Carolina Hurricanes.
11.
Incorrect. Jeff Skinner, Carolina Hurricanes.
32.
Incorrect. Jake Gensel, Carolina Hurricanes.
32.
Incorrect. Jeff Skinner, Carolina Hurricanes.
54.
Incorrect. Jake Gensel, Carolina Hurricanes. What a wild pull at the end. You stayed in the teens the whole time. Then you threw 54 randomly for Jeff Skinner. He wore number 53.
Wow.
you almost pull the rabbit out of your hat right at the end. We needed to get you in the 50s because Gensel with the Canes wore number 59 and Skinner with the Canes wore number 53. So you're dancing around in the teens. That's not going to get it done. But hopefully you had some fun. Nope. All right, he's gone. That means Brett and Raleigh is the winner. Brett, congratulations.
Hey, go potato salsa.
Go potato salsa. You may have gotten a little lucky by going first, but and the way that the categories worked out. But needless to say, a win is a win is a win. You get to see Sebastian Maniscalco. Congrats.
Thank you. And I won previously, so I'm adding 2 to my win counter.
So you're up to 2.
Yep.
All right. We'll see. I think we have some out there that have won 3 times. So we'll see. We'll see if you can chase them down. But congratulations and enjoy the show.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. For the record, I always thought it would be funny to name a band, if I were naming a band, like a random assortment of 3 letters that don't actually mean anything. Just go like TRW. And just have, for my entire career as a musician, have people guessing what it stands for and actually have it mean absolutely nothing. Oh, is it the initials of the original band members? Is it the hometowns of the Is it the first? Nope. It's literally just numbers. And I just would have a good time watching journalists and fans and everybody breaking it down. Maybe even throw a number in there, right? Like 3RW. Is it because you were the 3rd right winger on your high school team? Nope. That would be me. Maybe a little troll move from me, but it is what it is. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Want to tell you, everybody out there, about what's going on at Window Nation, and more specifically, what's going on with Window Nation involving their semi-annual sale, which has been extended into this month. That's 50% off window styles plus 0% interest for 5 years and an additional bonus if you schedule this week. You may hear similar offers from other home improvement companies, but I just put it like this. When someone's working on your home, specifically the part of your home that keeps the elements out and keeps your energy in, it's all about trust, right? Justin came through to my house, Justin from Window Nation, and what I really enjoyed about it was very much a show, not tell. Right? We've all been there with your car, with your house, with any major appliance. Somebody who's trying to sell you something looks at it and goes, yep, you need to replace your left phalange, right? Or you need to replace your right super sprocket. And if you're not an expert, you don't know what that means. You're just like, oh, geez, how much is it going to cost? And it's always a lot. Window Nation shows you, right? Hey, here's what your windows are doing now. They'll get out a heat lamp. You can put your hand on the other side, show you how much heat is going right through your window. Then they can show you this is what our windows do. And they'll put the window up, the panes of glass, put the heat lamp on one side. You can put your hand on the other side, and you can tell how much different it is. Like I'm big on the show, not tell. It's a trust thing, right? If you show me, I can trust you. If you just tell me, I'm skeptical. Window Nation, and like I said, Justin, the representative that came through our house and gave the presentation to my wife and I, it's all about building trust through that, right? Through trustworthy actions. Window Nation has it all. And on top of that, if you schedule a free no-obligation quote now, you get an additional bonus on top of 50% off all window styles plus 0% interest for 5 years. That's the trustworthy, that's the good product, that's the best materials, that's the excellent installation, and it's a great deal. Can't really get mad at any of that. Go ahead and give them a call, 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION. Or visit windownation.com to schedule. That's windownation.com to schedule now. We have one more thing when we come back, and that's also one more thing for the Panthers offseason. Stick around.
The Adam Gold Show.
They take out a guy who is unhittable, and before Edwin Diaz could throw a pitch, he gets ejected because, I don't know, he had maple syrup all over his hand.
Something questionable.
Right? Very questionable. Right? There's a reason why he was unhittable probably 2 years ago. So he tried to get away with it. It wasn't on his glove. It was on his hand.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey y'all, happy summer from Oak City Customs. We have a lot of cool things happening, including new offerings on custom sun sails, pergolas, outdoor tables and furnishings, raised garden beds, and so much more. All fully customizable and available in any size. We also are now hosting official shop tours for you to experience this unique fabrication process in person. Come visit us or check us out further at oakcitycustoms.com. We look forward to meeting you.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, Creighton Blackwell here from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Today, we are at Holly Springs High School, and we're here to celebrate the next Scholar Athlete of the Month, Emma Pankunis.
She's a really great teammate. She's always looking out for everybody on the team and is a great leader. She's willing to set up her teammates for success and just puts herself in the position to help everybody out, and it's been really cool.
Emma is all in. She has been since the first day I met her freshman year.
My community is everything to me. So being able to kind of reach out and get back in these different areas and to people that have had such a big impact on me is just something that's rewarding in itself. I'm someone who have always prioritized my academics, and athletically, once I set those goals for myself, it became a big priority in my life. So be able to maintain what I want and have those goals set makes it really easy to kind of focus on what's important. I've had so many people, not even just teammates, but throughout my club, throughout my high school experience, including my parents, that it's just everyone is pushing me to be as successful as I can be. And when I have so many people that are driving me and trying to keep me on track, that it just makes it easy to do it myself. And it makes it so much easier where you're not also trying to be successful for myself, but I'm trying to be successful for those people as well.
Congratulations, Emma.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have recognized scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Do you have a wedding anniversary coming up? Let Bailey's Fine Jewelry make your gift giving easy. Make this a year to remember with something sentimental and sparkly. Or consider upgrading your original engagement ring to celebrate how much your love has grown. Make this anniversary one to remember with a Bailey box. Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Family owned and operated since 1948. Shop local in Raleigh, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Visit in-store or at baileybox.com to learn more.
Dauntless Transmissions has been the trusted transmission shop in Raleigh for more than 27 years. The experts at Dauntless Transmission are dauntless when it comes to caring for your vehicle. Whether that means a total transmission rebuild, complex engine or brake service, or just a routine tune-up, your vehicle will be dauntless when they're done with it. Visit dauntlesstransmissions.com. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
Dauntless is currently looking for skilled auto technicians to join the Dauntless team. Visit dauntlesstransmissions.com/careers to apply.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SHED.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Guess how many days until veterans report for training camp for the Carolina Panthers?
30.
It was a month from yesterday.
So 29.
Something like that. A month minus 1 day. It's getting to the point where you count down like baseball used to pitchers and catchers report. It's like once the veterans get there, it's real. Rookies get there a few days before that. The NFL season is closing in, ladies and gentlemen. We are less than 1 month from veterans reporting for training camp, which is essentially what I consider one last chance to do something. Right? It's one last chance to do something. We talked about they need a corner, right? And there's still Adoree Jackson. There's still Stephon Gilmore out there. That can be the one more thing. But when I say one more thing, don't you just wish last year they had that, like, we all bit like, did you leave the oven on moment, right? Where you think you're packed up, you're ready to go on vacation, you get driving down the neighborhood street on your way out, and you're like, did I leave the oven on? All right, let's go back. I'm going to be thinking about it all week on the beach if we don't go back and check. So you just go back and you run inside, and sure enough, you haven't even used the oven in like 2 weeks. But you checked and it's off, and you're like, hey, fantastic.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Exactly. Like, to me, right now, that's where every NFL GM is. You think you're good, right? You're all packed up. You have your offense settled, right? Your offensive coordinator likes all the players. You handled the draft. You handled free agency. You maybe even made a trade or two, and you're getting ready to go into the season, and you're just about a month away. And that panging in the back of your head starts going on like, did I lock the back door? I let the dog out. Did I lock the back door when I came back in? Let's just go. Let's get one more. Let's get one more time back. Let's check. What's 10 more minutes? Don't you wish they had that last year? During this portion, and they were like, you know what? Let's grab one more tight end. Do we have enough tight ends? Let's grab one more tight end. You know what? I like our offensive line. Do we need one more offensive lineman? Or one more corner? Because last year, if you look at it, right, corners got hit by injuries. Offensive line got hit by injuries. Tight ends got hit by injuries. Wouldn't it have been nice to have like one more veteran option? Just, you know what, let's double back. Before we go, I know. I'm not going to, it'll be real quick. I'll just run inside and grab a tight end. So who's that this year? Because it's somebody. Who is Dan Morgan getting that ping for the last month to go get one more? You know who I feel like right now? I feel like, and by the way, this is just in one particular scene and has nothing to do with looks. I feel like Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11.
Okay.
You know the scene where he's sitting there, he's on the bar, and he's just being quiet, and George Clooney's looking at him? So, all right, that makes 10. You think we need one more? Silence. All right, you think you need one more? Silence. Fine, we'll get one more. Like, I feel like I'm the guy going, I don't think you're done. You need one more. And you might be 2 more. It might be 3 more. But find a way to make it work, right? Injuries affect your season, right? We talk about it with the draft. Actually, we just talked about it with the NHL draft coming up, right, during the podium earlier today. Like goalies, can't have too many, right? Pitchers, left-handed relievers, can't have too many. 3-point shooters in the NBA, can't have too many.
Edge rushers even.
Which position for the Panthers can they not have too many of? Go get one more. Right? Oh, if you I mean, they spent their 2 biggest free agency signings were offensive guards. It's pretty obvious they care a lot about offensive guard. Could you go get one more? I'm not saying to start. I'm not saying to put him over anybody. I'm saying in case something serious happens. What if Robert Hunt goes down? You want season's over. Our big $100 million offensive line didn't work. Or do you want to be able to move Corbett over to guard and Christensen to center, and then guess what? You have one more guard if you need him. Why? Because you didn't go on vacation the last month before training camp. What is the one more thing? The one more guy? The one more corner, right? And maybe it's just a young player who you like, right? It doesn't have to be Stephon Gilmore and Adoree Jackson, just one more that you trust. Maybe it's a trade. Maybe you swap future 7ths to get somebody else's problem child who you think there's still an ability there. right? The fact of the matter is most of what you have for the season is already done, right? You have the main movers and shakers. You have the main people that your season is going to settle on, just like you might be all packed up for vacation. You might even have the car top carrier set up top with the beach toys, and the suitcases are up there, so you have enough room for the dog down. Like, you've put all of the thought into packing this car. You haven't done it yet, Graham? Going on like a family vacation to the beach and hitting like the perfect puzzle Jenga blocks to get the back door to the trunk to shut perfectly with all the kids' toys and all the chairs and when you finally fit that last piece in and the door shuts, it's an adrenaline rush.
It's like ultimate dad achievement.
Oh, 100%. The Dad Olympics.
The Dad Olympics. I like that.
And then to pull away and have somebody go, I think I left my light on. It's a bummer, but you go back. You do it every time. You always go back to check. Why? Especially if you haven't gone far. Because it's easier to do that than to put up with, can we call the neighbor to go check the entire trip? The Panthers right now, everything's packed up. Dan Morgan's done a really nice job. He's aced the Dad Olympics, the GM Olympics. He's fit the puzzle pieces where they need to fit. He got the quarterback a new number 1 wide receiver. He drafted a number 1 wide receiver. He got the quarterback a better offensive line. Ejiro Evero, the defensive coordinator, seems pleased with the players they brought in. The A'Shawn Robinsons, the Jadeveon Clowneys, the Dane Jacksons. Dan Morgan seems to have everybody happy. There's got to be one more thing. Every year, there's one more thing you wish you did. And you're not going to hit it. Like, you might, go get another tackle, right? Or you might go get another tight end or whatever it is, and then it turns out you needed another safety, right? You might miss. But it's one thing to miss. It's another thing to not try, right? So I'm looking at it and saying, try, right? Try. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Get ready for big fights and big action. The UFC continuing, and it can be even bigger, right? Every single time you watch a card, you can jump in on all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. The main events, they're always going to draw a crowd. The main events, they're always going to have the storylines and the belts on the line and everything else. But there are so many other amazing matchups that happen every single time the UFC gets together. And if you aren't as entwined and you just want to have a rooting interest, you can throw a little bet on there, right? Speaking from experience, it can be treated as a little bit of an entertainment amplifier. Speaking of amazing, by the way, if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Here's how. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TIMD. That's TIMD with no spaces. TIMD, no spaces. If you use that at sign up, new customers will get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet your first $5. Get that big fight feel only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at dkng.co/MMA. There you go. That's about going to do it for us here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. But don't forget a few things. One, Overdrive is coming up next, including a couple of college football conversations. That's coming pretty close. We have the Stanley Cup Finals, I believe, here on 99.9 The Fan today, so you can tune in for that and hang out right now for Overdrive, as I mentioned. But what I meant to say was subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. We're doing a ton of work behind the scenes to make sure you get the best content possible on YouTube. And as that community continues to grow on YouTube, we want you to be a part of it. So subscribe when you're there. Comment, share, do all those cool things for us. We will be greatly, greatly appreciative. We'll be back tomorrow. Graham, you're with us again tomorrow, right? Yes, he is. Got the thumbs up. So Graham will be with us hanging out 3 o'clock tomorrow. Until then, have a great night, everybody, and enjoy Overdrive.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Dave Doran and the NC State Wolfpack have somehow turned their buzz, turned their sizzle into an offensive version of that. For so long, it's been winning with defense. It's been Tony Gibson, their defensive coordinator, Peyton Wilson. Well, now they can't turn away wide receivers and running backs from the recruiting and transfer portal. Maybe it's a new Dave Doran. Maybe offense first.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Is foot pain keeping you from living the life you love? Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet Store, and life is too short to be living with foot, knee, or back pain. When all four arches in your feet are supported, the results can be amazing. Go to goodfeet.com to make your appointment today.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
It's Men's Health Month. I'm Tim Donnelly here with Dr. Parikh of WakeMed Heart and Vascular. Doctor, you are a cardiologist who specializes in heart failure and pulmonary hypertension. Let's start with the simple things here. What exactly is pulmonary hypertension?
Pulmonary hypertension is a condition that affects the blood vessels in your lungs. We know our blood pressure in our body, which we get from the arm blood pressure cuff, but we all actually have a separate blood pressure that exists in our lungs. It's harder to measure, but pulmonary hypertension really just refers to when those pressures in the lungs are higher than they should be. Pulmonary hypertension can develop on its own, or it can be caused by other conditions. It can cause people to feel tired and short of breath and cause trouble with the heart, and specifically the right side of the heart. And it can cause the right side of the heart to get weaker over time because it's pumping blood into those higher blood pressures.
For more information on pulmonary hypertension or heart health in general, go to wakemed.org.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? On America's birthday weekend, why not stop by America's #1 brakes destination? Right now, you can save 15% when you buy a set of OE quality Duralast pads and rotors, and up to 50% when you bundle Shop Pro brake cleaner and brake fluid with Sil Glide brake lubricant. It's just part of our 4th of July sale at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury